All right, ladies. Good evening.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
How y'all doing tonight?
doing good. How are y'all?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful.
I am excellent. I am excellent. Y'all ready to get it in on this topic of overcoming?
Yes, I know
Yeah,
I am.
I am too.
Lord.
I'm really excited about this. I've been speaking about this a little today with my cousin, and I was like, today has been a different day for me. Um, I don't know. It's been a emotional day for me today in a good way, in a positive way.
Okay.
And I think that God is he's truly shifted me. I don't know where he's taking me, but I know today I was shifted and elevated to another place, and I'm excited about that. But first and foremost, I want to introduce myself. My name is Janice Love. For those of you that don't know me, I am a motivational speaker. I'm a life coach, and I'm also into this podcasting game. And next on the poll, we got Miss Tamasha Rosser. Tamasha, wave to the audience so they'll know who you are.
That be me.
And we got our special guest, my ride or die, Miss Elizabeth Cherry. And we have these ladies on the platform, and we're going to be speaking tonight about overcoming. And I just want to go in and Tab, can you just give us a little brief introduction about yourself so the viewers can get familiar with you?
Hey. That's fine. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Most of y'all know me. I'm Elizabeth Cherry. Well, I guess most of y'all know me, but I'm Janice's sister cousin,
Okay.
and I am I am a wife, a mother, and el numero uno, a woman of God. And
Right.
so I'm just honored to be on this live tonight with Janice and Miss Tamasha. And as I was going to say, most of y'all know me, Taboo, Tabitha, Tab. So just in case, just to get that disclaimer out there. But I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be on and talking about overcoming because that's a great subject. And I'm just ready to share with everyone how I have overcome.
All right, all right. Miss
Good.
Tamasha, we want you to dive in deep and give the viewers a little spigot of who you are.
Okay. I'm Dr. Tamasha Rosser. Yes. I am a transformational speaker and life coach. Transformational because I help people transition from one place of being to another place of being, which I think is so fitting when we talk about overcoming, because that's what I help people do, to overcome from one area in their life to get to a different or better area in their life. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm just like excited to be on here. My most thing that I would say, if I would want the audience to have a takeaway, is that I'm just a woman that's after God's own heart. That
Right.
just trying to do everything that I can do to please God. And I know in aiming for that, that everybody else I'll touch and impact in the capacity that God needs me to.
All right. All right. Guys, you have heard from the co-host and also the guest speaker. I'm ready to dive in deep. I'm gonna
Okay.
go ahead and stop just set it off. Today I had this experience before we go into this overcoming.
Okay.
I had this experience where you know I was so overwhelmed today, and it wasn't in a bad way. It wasn't a overwhelming feeling like it was like a bad thing. It was more so it was overwhelming in a sense of like God, out of all my flaws, all the things that I deal with, all the things that I know I deal with, you know that I deal with that other people don't see.
Right.
And yet you still call me.
Mm.
I'm worthy for you to call me um to do this. And for me, it was like a game changer today for me,
Wow.
because it was kind of like, even in my impurity, like even
Mm.
in shortcomings, even in um me looking at myself some days saying that I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not where I want to be. I shouldn't be doing it. Even with that battle, sometimes God showed me you are worthy because I've ordained you and I've called you.
Right.
So just having that moment and that reflection with God today really allowed me to elevate into another level.
Mm.
So I want to like take time and just thank God for that, because that was my moment of transitioning, and that was my moment of realizing I am overcoming. That was an overcoming moment because I
That's
had to overcome that feeling of you're not good enough. I
right.
had to overcome that battle of maybe I won't be accepted. I had to overcome that. And just God giving his grace and his love to me today, it really did something to me. So I just wanted to like share that moment of overcoming with everyone. And I just wanted to be transparent. And anyone out there, if you guys at any moment ever feel, that you're not worthy, you are. You
Right.
are. The reason why you're feeling the way you feel is because you are worthy.
That's right.
And no matter what we go through, no matter what we may face in life, like God has the final say so. And God, I thought about David. David was a shepherd boy. His father, allowed him to tend to the sheep. And while all the other brothers, did train, they trained in the field, they fought with the king.
Right.
And nobody knew who David was. But God saw David. And
Right.
I'm getting emotional.
Mm.
I'm getting emotional right now because I take what I do seriously. And David was a king. God had ordained David to be
Right.
king,
Right.
but to other people, he was just a shepherd boy.
Right.
That's what everybody knew him for, being a shepherd boy. But God says, I called you, I anointed you.
Right.
God anointed David to be a king. And just like God has anointed David to be king, God has anointing for you guys to do something amazing as well.
Amen.
God has ordained me to be who I am, just who I am. And I just want to encourage, and I just want to speak, and I'm excited about the topic, even though I'm getting a little emotional right now. I'm excited about the topic because God is truly putting me in a place where He's showing me you're overcoming each and every day.
Right.
The moment you continue to keep accepting the calling, you have overcame another obstacle.
That's
So I
right.
just want to encourage, and Tab, I just want you to elaborate because I know you the guest speaker, and I just want you to elaborate on that. I ain't trying to take all the shine tonight, but I just had to get that out.
Amen. Amen.
Well, it's just like you said, overcoming is big. And when you talk about how you had that time today, and how I look at it for myself, you had that moment, and that's good because that's when deliverance has happened.
Right,
And deliverance happens in so many forms and fashions, and people don't even realize it. But that's also when you go into the next level. And
right,
Right.
God is really delivering you into the hands of who He needs you to touch, into the faces that need to see you. And Janice, I love that because I told you I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of
thank
the woman who
you,
you have become because you're becoming who God has called you to be.
thank
My
you.
grandma, she always said, when while she here, give me my flowers. So
That's right.
I honor that in you. And that's what God is doing in you. He's humbling you. He's humbling you because there are people out here that are really hurting. They're really going through, they're really trying to overcome so much. I'm talking about the mind games that they go through,
Yeah,
the family issues, the generational curses. I mean, it all plays a big part. So when you get to the point of where you are right now, and you're like, oh my goodness, why am I feeling this way? You're
Right.
entitled to feel that way because
Right.
that is your identity. If you can't be effective in coming to becoming who you are, then how are you gonna be effective to others?
Right.
So when you're walking in that authenticity, and that's what I try to do, is walk in my authenticity, walk in my real God-given identity. And that's so important to me. And I've fallen short so many times,
Right.
but I don't know what. When you invited me, I was like, yes, ma'am. I was ready. I was so excited because I was like, okay, it's time. It's
Yeah.
time for me to stop being, and this is my overcoming. It's time for me to stop being disobedient. It's time
Right.
for me to walk out in my calling. It's
Right.
time for me to be that true woman of God. Not that I haven't been her, because
Right.
I've always been her, and I'm always gonna be her until God calls me home. But the
Right.
thing is that I let so many things get in the way of doing what I needed to do, being
Right.
who I needed to be. And
Right.
you allow those things, and it could be people, it could be your own children, it could be your husband, it could
Right.
be all of that. So all of that plays a part in who you are. And when you put all that stuff on the back burner and you say, God, it's you. It's
Right.
always been you. And when you put him first and you say, okay, this is how I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Sometimes God will tell you, no, that's not the way I want you to do it.
Right.
The way I want you to do it is the way I've called you to do it. We're chosen. So we're going to go through more things and come out on the other end.
That's right.
We don't look burnt. We don't look, the fire burns some people.
Right.
But boy, we don't look burnt. We don't look like what we've been through.
Right.
And we go through every day. We go through something every day. It may not be as bad, but I say now, what is the need of complaining? Because
That's
at the end of the day, it's a cycle.
That's
You
right.
keep going through the same thing over and over and over, and then you come back to the same result, and you realize, like, what am I doing? Like,
Right.
I just wound up here a couple months ago, and I still did. Wasn't no solution.
Right.
When you realize that the solution is already there, the problem is fixed.
Right.
So I think when we start to learn that we are living in a time of deliverance and God is trying to get his people to really step up so people can heal.
Right.
We all need to heal. It all goes back to healing. Sometimes you can be messed up and still help somebody, but God wants you to live a certain type of life. He wants
Right.
you to be a certain type of person. And it's not that you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to walk in humbleness. You have to
Right.
take down the pride. And I think that's what has happened. And what I'm seeing, a lot of humbleness is coming to you. And you're taking that time for God to really refine, because it starts within the inside and it shines out. And as I've been watching these lives, I've been seeing the inside shining out on you. And I told you, seeing the different things about you, the different ways you've been carrying yourself. And I'm like, and I feel like I got to step up, because you're my person that I look at and I'm like, oh, I got to do better. I got to get out of this. I got to overcome this, because she can't leave me behind. I'm not finna stay back here.
Right.
So I got to move. And that's how I feel about it. And I know we're going to get into the deep of the deep. So I don't want to get too deep until we get there. Stop. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna start from the bottom up, start with Tab. I love what you said about the problem and the solution. And what I like to tell people is that before the problem even presented itself or manifested, because what the word says, no weapon that's formed shall prosper. So even before the problem formed, the solution was already made available to us. That's just the type of God that we serve.
Right.
And what happens a lot of times is we don't get to the solution quick enough, is because we dwell on the problem too long. The problem, we got to call everybody, we got to tell them, we got to post about it. We got to keep, this is a topic of every conversation. Where if once the problem presents itself, if we automatically, as the Bible says, seek ye the kingdom first and go to God and say, okay, God, what's the next step? What do I need to do with this? God
Right.
can make that solution readily available. So a lot of us stay in problem mode too long and longer than what God even wants us to, is because we've been trained to stay there and heart there. And then, you got to go through all these hoops and feel like your back is up against the wall,
Right.
and before the problem presents itself. But that's really not how God kind of ordained it to be. But as people, and as we learn to evolve and learn to, problems are going to come. He said we're going to have trials and tribulations. We're going to face those, but know that if Jesus overcame, so can we. So the
Right.
quicker that we have that overcomeness spirit and be able to tell ourselves that we are an overcomer and that nothing, that everything works for our good. Like, that's one of the things I say, even in the midst of going through, and it may be something that don't feel good, don't look good, or is presenting itself in a way that could have me in fear. I know that everything is working out for my good, even
Right.
if right now it doesn't feel like it and don't seem like it. I know at the end of that thing, God is going to turn it around and it's going to work for my good. um so that was just the kind of like just piggyback off what you said. And then Janice, you mentioned about David, and even coming on and saying that after God's heart. And
Yeah.
that's why God chose David, because he knew he could trust David. Even though David wasn't, as what they would say, was trained, or he wasn't prepared, he wasn't out in the field with everybody else. But David had the training that God needed David to have. And David's heart was pure. And he knew that even after he became king, and then he, had Bathsheba's husband killed because he was having an affair with her. And
Right.
even the things that he did, God still used him, because he knew in his heart, that
Right.
David's heart, that even on the outer part, he allowed his flesh to overcome and overtake him, to get entangled in that. But God still used him because he knew that David's heart was
Right.
pure. And as people, we tend to look at the outer appearance of people and judge them, and then put them in places and categories. Or they ain't gonna be nothing. They ain't gonna never amount to nothing. They ain't gonna accomplish nothing. And but then God said, "You don't know what I got." So come on now, because that was me. They cast me off. I wasn't gonna do nothing. I went to jail. I had a baby out of wedlock. Oh, she ain't gonna never be nothing. She's not gonna accomplish nothing. But God had other plans. And so
Right.
I feel like that's, Janice, what you were talking about. And even in our day to day overcoming, and even as you was talking, God was saying, overcoming ourselves is
Yes.
is one of the biggest challenges.
Right.
Because within ourselves we feel inadequate. We feel
Right.
like, God can't use us. We know what we did yesterday, or the thought we had, 2 weeks ago, or whatever the case may be. And then we allow that to hold us in captive and think that God can't use us. But God said, because of your heart, come on now, because of your heart, I know your heart is pure. I
Yes.
can use you, and not over a lot, not only make you overcome, but then send you out so then others can overcome as well. We
Right.
we just the testers. We just go through the fire so then we can reach back and pull
Right.
others out too. And then God know He can trust us.
That's real. That is
Mm.
absolutely real, Tamasha. And to piggyback off what you said, that has been my life.
Yeah.
And that has been my testimony. And that
Hmm.
has literally, I can't explain it. It's been my story time and time again.
Hmm.
And I'm I don't know, like I'm just in a space where I'm like, I can't I don't even know how to describe it at times. It's so overwhelming. I don't know. I don't know. And I told my cousin this day, I said, cuz I can't describe the way I feel right now. And I feel like what I walked into today, I feel like that was like the beginning of so many things of like God, like, yeah, Janice, you are going to overcome this. You are going to press through this. You are going to elevate through this. You are going
Right.
to pull people, out from the north, the south, the east, and the
Come
west. Like,
on.
I believe that. deep down in my soul, I believe that.
Mm.
And I stand on that firmly. I do. God knows I do. And I told my cousin, I was telling her earlier, I said, oftentimes in the Bible, we read and we study the Bible, but in the Bible, it says a prophet is not honored in his own town.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, I'm trying to
Take your
stay
time.
afloat, y'all.
This
I'm, I'm
look,
trying to stay afloat.
come
I'm
on,
trying to stay afloat. I'm trying not to get emotional. But when you know what God has done for you,
come on.
Tamasha, I told her today it was gonna be hard for me not to cry. So everything within me is keeping me like, keep it together.
Right,
Because this
right.
is sensitive. Like,
Yeah.
it,
this is
it
a
is.
sensitive thing.
It's really sensitive. It's really, really sensitive. And like for me, I kind of feel like it's so sensitive to me because I'm like, God, you chose me.
Yeah.
Like you really chose me to do this thing. And as hard as I am on myself about trying to stay committed to God and trying to stay real, with him. It's not about being real with anybody else. It's
Right.
about me, my relationship with him, because I feel like if I establish a real relationship with me and God, it'll flow throughout every area, every angle in my life.
Right.
But I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It is so hard sometimes to stay committed and to stay faithful.
Mm.
You know, I'm talking about wholeheartedly faithful. And I'm like, God, even in those shortcoming moments, and you still choose me over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very overwhelming to me to think that, man, my spiritual father loved me so much, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
he loved me so much, he continued to choose me even when I don't choose myself.
Right.
Even whenever I don't choose him in moments that I need to choose him. So for me, I'm just overwhelmed right now. Like again, I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to keep it.
No, no. This is what this is about. And in that overcoming and when you were talking, I know you said, I think you said stay faithful
Yes.
to God. God said it's really focused.
Yes.
Because in your heart you're faithful.
Right. Right.
Um it's the outer things sometimes that causes us to lose maybe focus. But
Right.
he says in him and seeking him, because even in times when we may feel like we're not doing everything right and upright by God,
Right.
within our hearts, we still love him. Um,
Right.
it's just like parents to children. Our children make mistakes. It don't mean that they don't love us. It
Right.
just means that in their decision that they didn't make the right decision in that
Right.
particular moment. But it don't mean that they don't love you. And so God says it's not that you lose faith, it's the focus. Because your faith remains
Right.
intact. Which is how he's able to reel us back
Right.
in sometimes should we get too far off course. The overcoming part,
Right.
just to know where we came from and our background, because at the end of the day, people may know pieces of our story, but they don't know the whole story. We know
Right.
every solitary thing, every dark moment, every time we had to cry, every time we wanted to lose our mind, but we did. Every time we wanted to cuss somebody out, every time we wanted to run somebody over, like all these thoughts that we have in times when we know we're at the edge and God pull us back in. We know every single moment when we was on the brink or thinking that it wasn't a way for us to come back, or oh my God, I don't went too far and God can't use me. And then
Right.
he steps right in and let us know, yes, I can. Dust that off. And then he comes in with compassion. He comes in
Right.
with love and understanding, and even in sometimes in judgment and correction, but it's still done within a way that is his love is displayed, his compassion is displayed, and then
Right.
he doesn't put us on blast. Like, you go do something to somebody now, what they doing a post on you? Oh, Janice done
Right.
did this, Tamasha done did this. God don't do us like that. God
No.
handles us in private, and the
Right.
things that we do when he needs to correct us, he correct us in private, and then he
Right.
lets us come back out in our full authentic self. So the ability to keep from crying. I understand. I was in the car yesterday and I called my husband. I said, I'm almost in tears in this car. And then he didn't follow proper protocol. So I had to school him on when I say that, and then I pause. You supposed to say why almost in tears. He took a 15-second delay, and I'm like, no. I was like, what you? He said, I thought you was gonna keep talking. No. After that pause went more than 5 seconds, you supposed to jump in there. So I had to school him on how to respond in the right time and manner.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But that whole thing was God, his
Yeah.
love. Even when times I felt like I done fell off, I done put my gift to the side because I'm
Right.
focused on other stuff, and I'm over here because this little twinkle done caught my eye, and I'm over here, God, I'll be back. I'm gonna do that later. And I put
Right.
it down. He comes right back with that
Right.
love and that compassion to say, and gently, hey, I need you to focus back over here.
Yes.
And
Right.
what he was showing me this weekend, and I'm gonna get into it, I ain't gonna hop on and just into it yet. Like Taz, I ain't gonna get deep yet till we get deep. I'm gonna put my toes in. But God used a Beyonce concert. And I'm not a Beyonce fan. Like, for people who know me, one, I'm not a concert fan at all. I don't like large crowds. Let me rephrase. I thank you, God. I
Yes.
love large crowds. Okay. I love large crowds. I did not like large crowds. And God had to check me on that.
Right.
Going through that to the Beyonce concert. One, I just got inspired. Two, he was showing me some things while I was in there about she does this on the R&B sector. The gifting that I've given y'all, you don't think I can pull this kind of crowd for you?
Wow.
Okay.
That's
But
good.
I got home and I went because the person who I was going with didn't have anybody else to go. And so when I got home, I was kind of like proud of myself. Oh, I stepped outside my comfort zone and went with them because they ain't had anything to do. I did a good deed or whatever. And God was like, no, she helped you. I was like, huh? He said, yeah, because how you gonna pull big crowds but don't like them?
Oh.
I said, wait a minute. He said, because I can't do nothing for you past your belief. So if you got a belief established within you, you talking about overcoming. I had to overcome limited mindsets. I had to overcome limiting beliefs. I had to overcome not believing in myself. I had to overcome that I wasn't enough. But he said, I can't do anything past your belief and your ability and what I can do. And if you have a belief set up, then I'll say it for years. You see, I came out my mouth so quick. I don't like big crowds. I'm glad to correct me. He said, if you don't like big crowds, then big crowds can't come see you. Come on now.
Right.
Because if I
Right.
don't like crowds, I don't like crowds. It don't matter what the occasion
That's
is.
good.
So
Right.
he say, in order for me to send, come on, the 70,000 to come see you, you got to change that belief. And
Right.
once you break that belief down, and then you start moving forward, then I can do what I need to do. Come on, be quiet.
That's
Go on,
right.
y'all. Look,
That come on now.
come
Say
on.
it, sis. Say
Listen,
it.
I say, God, I said, I'm gonna hear you, my love, feeling good. Yeah, I went on and did that, and God said that wasn't for her, that was for you. I said, oh, put me down, God, pop it. God said,
Uh,
yeah, because how can I do it for you if you don't even believe or you
right.
don't like it?
Yeah.
So now I love large crowds, saying send them on 50,000, 70,000, whatever it is, God, send them my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's overcoming, like I said, limited beliefs. Overcoming to think that I could never be financially free. Come on.
Right. Yes.
Brought up speaking, or I got to rob Peter to pay Paul, or
Mm.
I don't got a pot to piss in, or wanted to throw it out of. Coming
Mhm.
up with that to God having to shift my whole existence. Come on, not just a couple of things with me, baby. God, this been about a 10-year stretch of God, and I know He's still not done. He just got the things that was gonna be most important at the top, so I can elevate and push forward. But overcoming the fact that, come on, that I could one day have a doctor in front of my name. What? Who thought that? I didn't. I didn't think that was for me. Being financially free, I didn't think that was for me. I
Right.
didn't think being able to have the gift to talk to people. Wow, why are you using me, God? Why? Well, like, and that was the whole thing of me, like you said, Janice, and not having the faith and confidence in yourself. Like,
Right.
why is God gonna use me? And then they enemy, what He gonna use you for? You did this, you done did that. You don't even talk like everybody else talk. You still
Mhm.
got a little hood, and you still do this, you still do that. How He gonna use you? And so many years that kept me in bondage. To God gave me the foundation for my platform. And it was Luke 4:18. And He said that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, that I come to set those in bondage free,
Mm-hmm.
give sight back to the blind.
Oh my God.
And one more is something else, and I had pulled it up. And when He told me that, He said that's what your assignment is, to go and bring those people that are in captivity mentally. Because
Right.
He said, you almost lost your mind,
That's
but I
right.
kept you from losing your mind so you can go back and help other people save theirs. I said, come on, God. When I
Lord.
said at the brink, one more thought in the direction that I was thinking, I would have lost my mind. I felt my mind almost about to snap. And at the place I was mentally, it was nothing I could do. I had two scriptures. One was, what is man that I'm mindful of him? And the
Right.
other one is 2 Corinthians, I want to say 5 and 10. That says, bring every thought that tries to exalt itself over the word of God, under the
That's
captivity
right.
of the word of God. And
Mhm.
I'm sitting there and I'm quoting these two scriptures, right? Because at the time I'm speaking them, I just know what I got going on mentally. I'm
Right.
quoting the scripture, but I didn't have revelation. Come on, because overcoming and deliverance come with revelation of the word. And
That's
as
right.
I'm sitting here, these thoughts just running through my mind, running through my mind, running through my mind. And I'm at this table, I'm like, God, if you don't do something. And it was like instantly, I read that scripture and it was like, boom, the thought stopped. And I held my head up. Those thoughts went away. God let me be thought free for a few days to get my mind back together. But I had to bring all of those thoughts that was running through my head about, and this time I was in church, and this
Yeah.
stemmed from something that happened in church. And at the time I was at a church where they'll talk about you in the sermon, and you knew they were talking about you because you knew what the situation. You knew that was you or not. So I think I had stopped going or something. And in my mind, I just know they talking about me. God, I know, what did they say? Let me call somebody and see what they tell me, because I know they saying something about me. And this is all through my mind about people, what somebody else done said. That's where what is man that you mindful of him. That's where that came from. But God,
Right.
you so worried about man. You so worried. Okay. So since you there and I can't get you from that, what I need you
Right.
to do is take those thoughts and then bring them under my obedience. And through that,
That's right.
when revelation came, my mind was free. And when I tell you, I've never been back to that place again. But God never lets me forget it, because
Right.
that's how people get to the edge and to the end. Well, we look and we see them on the news and they done jumped off a bridge. It's because they
That's right.
got to the end and they had nothing or no good thought, no word that they could go back and pull from to pull them off that edge and pull them back from that edge. That's where we
That's right.
come from. That's
Yeah.
that's that's why we're here. So God say, I need, because it's gonna be some people. Come on, y'all. Tab, Jan, it's gonna be some people that's gonna be on the edge, and
Yeah.
we're gonna
Right.
encounter them right before they take that step off. And God said, I'm gonna allow y'all and what you done went through and the ability to overcome, to grab them and
Right.
snatch them back. And they gonna know it when nobody but God. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be quiet. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I was I want to say, because everything you were saying, it resonated with me so much. And
Yeah.
I'm going to put my toes into.
Don't.
So I remember last November,
Mhm.
um, I I had came to Georgia. Nobody knew I was going, but my husband and the kids knew I was coming. But I just got in the car and I said, a couple other people knew. But I just needed to get away because I was going through so much last year. I was going through such a transition and didn't really understand it. But I ain't gonna lie, I was acting out, doing what my own thing,
Yeah.
and God was, reeling me right on back in and telling me, no, that is not what I have for you. You need to get it
Right.
back together. And
Right.
me and God have this dialect to where I have a relationship with him. He
Right.
is literally my father, my husband, my friend, my
Right.
cousin, my aunt, he's my aunt, my uncle. He's definitely my mother and my father now because I no longer have them. And
Mm-hmm.
so he's always been those things, but it became so real last year.
Right.
And so I called Janice up and I said, hey, I got to get away. And I was trying to fly out because I do not like to drive. But
Mm-hmm.
it was the best thing that I could have done was driving there by myself because I really needed it. And I needed that time and that peace to talk to God and
Right.
figure out like, what do I need to do? God, I need answers. I don't know where to go. I literally wanted to leave my marriage, everything, my kids. I was ready to go. My daughter is she's 24 years old and disabled. I was going to leave.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was done because I was like, I got to get me together.
Yeah.
Right.
So I remember getting there and everything, and I remember we went out. We went out one night, one day. We went to the first day we went to a Stefan Speaks and
Oh yeah.
another event, yeah, and it was so amazing to be in that room. But it
Yes.
wasn't just that being in that room. I felt like I belonged in that room
Right.
Right.
with all those women and men who were in there, mostly women, but it was some men in there. But I felt like I belonged. I felt like this was where I was supposed to be. I
Right.
felt like this was elevating my mind.
Right.
God was putting me in a place that this is who you are now. This is who
Right.
you are becoming.
Right.
You're overcoming everything else that you've been through. And I wish we had time for that, but I just want to squeeze all this in right in this time that we have now. But I remember after that night, and I talked to Janice about everything that how I enjoyed it, and I thanked her because it's one thing when you have somebody when you don't have nothing, but you say you're gonna go and you're gonna do it anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have much
Yeah.
because I didn't know how I was going to get there,
Mm.
but I knew I was going to get there. I couldn't afford the ticket. That's why I didn't get the ticket.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, I'm going to get there. And,
Yeah.
and when I tell you it was bad, because this is what I want y'all to understand, I didn't even have gas to put in
Mm.
the car.
Come on.
Yeah.
Didn't even have an oil change. I rode in that car without an oil change and everything.
Mm.
So that lets you, I was determined. I didn't care if the car broke down. I didn't
Right.
care. Like, I knew God was going to protect me all the way. Was I scared? Yes, because I've never traveled on my own like that before. But it was so refreshing. And I
Right.
remember that night, I got up early that morning and I remember like, because I don't know, it was so peaceful. Like Janice's house is so peaceful. She be telling me my house peaceful. No, ma'am. That house, when I tell you I slept and I was able to get up, I had this thing where I wanted to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and do my prayers. And it just wasn't working when I was at home.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I finally got to bed and I woke up and I was not tired, no nothing. I woke up at like 4:15, 4:30ish. And I literally got on that floor and I just began to pray because I didn't want to wake her up. I didn't want to because I was like, I just don't want to bother her. Not knowing she was already awake. So uh, but I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, God, what is it that you want me to do? What is it that you need from me right now? I've been through this, and this. And God, I need to break free. I need to be free and I want peace. And what God would tell me, he said, you need to stop people pleasing.
Mm.
He
Mm.
said, those days are over.
Right.
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 And I was like, I said, now, Holy Spirit, you better, I don't people please, but knowing me, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to check myself at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I can't keep trying to please everybody and then leaving myself on the back burner.
Right.
Right.
And that's why it resonated with me what you said, Tamasha, because I was like, how can I help other people when I can't even let God deliver me?
Mm.
Right.
Me.
Right.
Like I'm in my own way.
Yeah.
And when I began to get out my own way,
Come on.
it would literally be like just like that. It was like a suddenly thing. Cause in this season, I know we in suddenlies. We in
Suddenly.
like right there, right there. Like you want it. If you want it, go get it.
Go get it.
God
Come
is
on.
giving it. How bad do you want it?
That's it.
I realized like God delivered me that day. And I tell you, I go through some things, but it don't last long.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
as time has went by, and I'm getting up to this time because I'm working my way and talking this from backwards to forward a little bit. So as time would go by, and I'm I'm just sitting there, a second night doing the same thing, and I'm like, God, I gotta do better. I gotta do better. I don't want to have another breakdown because
Right.
I have two breakdowns before I came to Georgia, very big breakdowns to the point of I think I had broke my hands, and God used a lady in the hospital, the radiologist. My hands were broken, and I had got just that angry. And I'll tell you what the turning point was for me to like, I need help. And if I can't get help from a therapist, I got to get away from this house and go get what I need from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I remember I thought I broke my hands. The lady took me into the therapy, and I laid my hands down. I had to wear like two braces, but that lady took me in there, and she gently rubbed my hands. I didn't know what that lady was doing. I really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my hands wasn't even moving. It could not move. Any movement hurt. When the doctor touched it, it hurt. It was painful. I
Wow.
could tell the point of where it was broken,
Mm.
literally broken. By the time I got back to the room, all the numbness
Mm.
went away.
Oh my God.
And I told you, this lady was like, she was so gentle. She was just rubbing my hand as she put it down flat. She was just rubbing it. And I'm like, I said, God, you used that lady.
Mm.
Yep.
You used her. And I got deliverance that day.
Yeah.
And I said I wouldn't break down again.
Mm.
And in time, I did break down one more time. The other reason I didn't want to break down is because I did it in front of my child. But sometimes your children need to see where you at,
Right.
Right.
so that they can understand. You do have a lot on the table, but you are a strong woman.
Right.
And you can overcome so many things by the grace of God. And by the grace of God, I got through that. I did.
Right.
And so as time went by, I had another breakdown. My children, all three of my children were right there to see it. This was last year now. People don't know this. So this is all new. So as time would go, I wound up getting upset again, had another breakdown. I wrote down here, there are healthy emotions and there are non-healthy emotions. These emotions that I was having were not healthy. And I knew they were not healthy. So this last one, my oldest son, he literally, the same finger that I broke, he got upset because I was upset, and he punched the refrigerator.
Mm.
Wow.
And he broke his knuckle. After that day, I felt so ashamed of myself because I let myself get to a place of where my son hurt himself because he didn't want me to be angry.
Right.
It's not to say that I don't let my emotions out sometimes, but I don't let it get to that point. If it gets to that point, I'm gonna walk away.
Right.
But what I did, I knew I needed help. And the only way I knew I was going to get that help was getting away from my family at the time. And that's what I did. Because honestly, I wanted to walk away, complete, be done. Because I was like, I wasn't good enough. And so when you have all these thoughts in your mind of going through so many things, you start to tell yourself, you're not good enough. You're never going to be good enough. I thought I was over that years ago, but here we are, we back at it.
Right.
It was literally like it was a scab, and God was allowing that scab to be back open again and just let it bleed out. And like God said, I'm the only one that can fix that bleed.
Right.
Do you want me to fix it or not? And so I did. I left and I came to Georgia for a couple of days. I came for the weekend, and it was the best thing that could ever happen to me because it was a sequence of things to come.
Right.
I didn't know were going to come. And ever since then, I have not looked at people and their opinions. There are things that I'm supposed to be doing so that I can give my gift back to God. Because I feel as though when God gives us our gift, we're supposed to give our gift back to Him.
Right. Absolutely.
And if we don't give our gift back to Him, and what I mean by that is giving it back to His people.
Right.
Pouring back into somebody else.
Right.
We rob God. And I didn't want to keep robbing God.
Right.
And so when Janice hit me up, I don't know, it gave me a level of confidence that was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I don't care what stories I have to tell. I'm not ashamed of my stories. I'm not ashamed of who I am, and I'm not ashamed of who I've become in the process of going through everything that I've been through, because it has built me. It's taught me not to keep going through the cycle. It's taught me not to keep doing the same thing over and over. That's insanity. And I was going insane. Who wants to do that? So I'm determined to help each and every person that God puts me before me. And I'm telling you, Tamasha, Janice, like that has been happening. And I try to be ready.
Right.
I try my best to be ready. It's not easy because sometimes it'll be back to back to back to back. And I'm like, God, you ain't gonna slow down, are you? And He's like, Holy Spirit be like, no, I'm not slowing down, because this is how you're going to get out of this. This is how you're going to win. This is how you're going to bring my name joy. Bring His name joy.
Right.
So that's, that's my truth.
Right.
And when you go through those, it's almost like I was going through the same cycle over and over and over again.
Right.
And I didn't want to keep going through that. And I didn't want my kids to go through that. And I remember a conversation I had with Janice, and she said, Tab, sometimes you literally have to get out of your way and start doing what you need to be doing for you so that everything else around you will come together. And I was like, the moment it really hit me, because somebody else had to come back and tell me and confirm it. That's the crazy part. And I said, God, I don't need no more confirmation. I know you speak to me.
Right.
But yet and still, somebody else came along again and said, you gotta start focusing on you.
Yeah.
You right, Tamasha. We can faith it through, but if we don't focus in on God and focus in on our identity that God has, we'll miss it.
Right. And if you don't build it on that firm foundation, the first little whispers or too much wind or too much turbulence, too much life happening, too much kids, too much husband, too much bills, too much anything, all of that is shake that foundation.
Yeah.
And then make us doubt who we are. And I kind of got to the point, I was like, God, I know you tired of me, because it was just like I just needed God to keep reassuring me. He was just like, all right, look, how many times I got to keep telling you?
All right, in Junior.
Yeah, like at some point I'm gonna need you to pick it up and go on and know that you know that you know that you know. But what you said, it was all about identity. I did not identify myself through the eyes of Christ. I identified myself through the perception of what other people had of me. And until I was able to come out of that, I had heard a quote, and it was like, how long are you going to live your life based on the perception of other people? And I realized that if I have a thought about something or I want to do something, and then my next thought is, well, if I do that, what is such and such going to say? Or if I post it, what such and such going to think? Or how they going to look at me? I realized that I wasn't doing what God called me to do. I was doing what I thought man would be
Yes.
pleased with me to do. And once God pleased, I can't use you like that. I
Right.
can't use you with you thinking of somebody else in mind first. I can only use you with you having me in mind first. Because with me in mind first, you're gonna do what I tell you, and then you're not gonna second guess or doubt yourself. Because
Right.
we say, he'll take the crazy things to conform the wise. So some stuff I just be like, God, are you sure? He be like, didn't I say it? I like, all right. You
Yep.
said it. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna let it be how you said it gonna be. And it works out every single time. But it's back to that identity, us seeing ourselves how God sees us, not through our mistakes, not through our imperfections. Because I stopped going for perfection. I used to, and then
Mm-hmm.
I got tired. I got tired. I got tired of trying to show up in one place with 10 different people and be these 10 different versions that they were expecting out of me. I
Right.
gotta be this for that person because I gotta be this for that person because that person don't like this and then that person don't like that and then that person I got exhausted. And then I'm like in the midst of this, where's Tamasha? What did Tamasha like? Did Tamasha even have fun? Because Tamasha too busy trying to please everybody else. And then I got tired. I said, forget it. I'm just gonna be myself. And
Mhm.
in that, I I shedded those that weren't supposed to be there because when you can operate in yourself and you show up as who you are and people love you unconditionally, that's when you know you found your tribe and that you can be free. So now I don't go in places where I gotta fake it. I ain't going in places where I know they don't like me. I'm not going. Why? I'd rather go somewhere else with a stranger, sit down, meet somebody, laugh,
Come
connect, have a
on.
good time
Yes.
then go somewhere and fake it with somebody.
Yeah.
Prophetess
Like that.
Marsha.
Yes.
Prophetess.
Yeah.
I have to interrupt you. Can I interrupt you, please?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You said what I just said to her verbatim.
Mm. Look.
Verbatim. Didn't I say that, Tab?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What you just said, I'm talking about, it sounded like my words.
Sis, you know we linked.
Oh,
Look. But
we
what
had this conversation right before
Yeah.
I called you.
wow.
When
Wow.
I say almost verbatim,
Mm.
verbatim, I'm
Mm.
sitting here like I had to kind of like blink. Like, wait a minute. She wasn't on
I
the
can
phone.
get them
Like,
live, y'all.
like what? Like she's speaking everything. That's how I know. Like, and see, this what I'm saying. I get so excited because I told my cousin, I said, when I'm in this setting, I can flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to flow. Like Tamasha, even you, I see a whole nother side of you tonight.
Look.
I'm for real. And you said my tribe. I told her that. I said, I just literally told her, I said, I can't wait till God continue to bring me my tribe. I
Come
said
on.
that I can flow, that I can be authentic around.
Come on.
Because to what you said, Tamasha, sometimes whenever we're around certain people
Right.
that doesn't understand God the way you understand God, that doesn't have that relationship the way you have relationship, and they don't really see things from the lenses that you see it.
Right.
And we all see things differently. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is I'm talking about spiritual lenses. So just as well as like I didn't have that conversation with you and you said all the words that I said today,
Mm-hmm.
that's a spiritual lens because
Right.
that's God ordained. God is speaking those
Yes.
words through you. So
Right.
what I'm saying is when you're around people and you're trying to flow, sometimes it's hard to flow and who you really are because it's like this is not your tribe. So it's like you trying to like I can't even explain it.
Fit
I
yourself
don't
in
even know.
something.
It's
Yeah,
you tiptoeing. You tip. It's God saying tiptoeing. You tiptoeing around people because I don't really want to step on nobody's toes. I don't really want to offend nobody. I don't really want to come off this way.
Or
Yeah.
it's not even that. Sometimes you don't want you can't speak freely because you know that they won't understand and they can't keep up.
Yeah.
So for me, I struggle with that a lot. Sometimes I be wanting to. I try to go there. If I'm around people, I will go there. And if I feel like you're not catching it, I'll back away.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I be get mad. I be like, dang God, like I want to really go in right now. Not in like in a bad way,
Right.
but you be really wanting to flow, but you can't flow like you want to because the level of understanding. So when you said my tribe, I just said that same thing today. I was like, God, I can't wait to be surrounded by my tribe.
Right.
Like I can't wait. And I'm not afraid to not be surrounded by my tribe because I work in that all the time. So
Right.
I'm not afraid of that. But it's it feels good and it hit a little different when you have that support team, when you have somebody interceding for you, when you have somebody that'll go to bat for you, when you have somebody that you can call at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're going through, to Tab's point, you can call and they can pour into you. So
Right.
that's what I'm talking about when I speak on my tribe.
Right.
Like I need that. I need that in every corner and every angle. Like Tamasha, you know what I mean? If you going to, before and someone is speak and you're speaking, I'm gonna make sure I'm there to have your back in prayer or whatever you need spiritually, because I'm a part of your tribe.
Right.
Tab, same thing for you. If
Right.
God is unctioning you to go forth in something, I'm gonna have your back. You know why? Because I'm a part of your tribe.
Right.
So for you to say that to Masha, like you have no idea. Like I know that was God
Yeah.
ordained for you to
Yes,
say
ma'am.
that because I just told her that. I'm talking about literally verbatim. I looked on the camera and she was smiling because she knew I just said that.
Right. Like, and that's when we talk about, Tab said, and I know you just mentioned too, about relationship.
Yeah.
Not a form of godliness. All
Mm.
right. Not that let me go to church every Sunday and check that off my to-do list.
Right.
I went to church. They seen me. Let me tell you something. I was in church. I was before the church even opened. I'm in the praise team. I'm on the pastoral board. I'm
Right.
on the usher board. I'm
Right.
helping cooking. I'm doing fundraisers. I'm all over the church with no spirituality, just a form of godliness.
Wow.
Because I'm in there thinking, if I do this, I do that, I do that, I'm pleasing God.
Right.
And it's that was the church I was in that I say, and I left all the little chatter and all that stuff. But I don't regret it because everything was a classroom and a lesson. And
Mm.
all those people that I encountered were teachers. Many
Yes.
taught me different lessons, but that God know how I learn and how I have to be taught.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
you
mm,
can't
mm.
necessarily tell me something, especially for me to get it into my core. God has to let me go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So in
That's
that, I'm thinking I'm doing something, honey. Oh, I'm this holy girl. You curse. I'm counting how many curse words you done said. I'm like be on the phone with my brother, and every other word was a cuss word. I ain't heard nothing he said because I'm too busy to count how many times he done cussed. You done said about 40 cuss words, and then he'll blab off about 10 more. Just hang up the phone on him. Girl, I would be in this house church. I wasn't going nowhere because everybody was a hell heathen. I wasn't going out there and be around these heathens. Honey, I am it. I am Miss Jesus. I am Mary. And we ain't going out there. We can't go out to eat because at the restaurants, they got bars and they playing that worldly music. Yeah, listen. As they say, I was me a holy rolling. And God was like, girl, what you doing? You ain't
right.
doing nothing. And what you doing for man.
Mm.
And you got a form of godliness, and that's
Right.
it. And God had to pull me out. Now, this ain't for everybody. This is how God had to deal with Tamasha. He had to pull me out of them corporate walls.
Right.
and put me in my closet. And when I got in my closet, and I had me a little pallet that I used to have in my closet. When I get up, I would wrap up my little cover, my little blanket, my pillow. And I was in that closet for 5 years. And when I tell you I learned more in that closet, laying on my face, the person I am today is because of what God did to me in my closet. And when I came out from there, still learning as we're going, but like you say, and when we get into places
Right.
with people and kind of knowing when to flow and not to flow,
Right.
um, what I've learned is, and I tell people, if I talk to you in a lot of settings, I'm really quiet, and it's because I've learned not to give Tamasha's opinion, even
Right.
though I think I have a pretty good outlook and overview. If I'm gonna give you something, my gift is to send people back in within themselves and to
Yes.
Right.
go within to search for the answers that they need. Because what worked for Tamasha might not work for Tab. What worked for Tab might not work for Janice. And so
Right.
what God say is, I need you to send people back within. Because see, that's where my freedom came from. That's where my deliverance came from. That's where
Right.
my healing came from. Because I had to go back within. I had an outer perception of God, and I'm looking up. God is up. No, He said, I'm in. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Right.
with. I'm in you.
That's true.
Everything you do, if you go up in that club, if you go have a drink, if you go do this, I am there. He said, if you make your bed in hell, lo, but I am with you.
Yeah.
I gotta break it down because I get crumps. I gotta let me break it down. But when I tell you it, and that's what we're up against, Janice. We're up against so many other people that has a form of godliness and don't
Yes.
have no idea what relationship is.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's where we come in to be true, to be authentic. Now, I tell you, people probably look at me and think, she a prophet? She said she a minister? Because they looking at, I may have me a drink or two.
Look
Um,
at you on too.
or two. I
Peter.
listen to all types of music. I don't just stick with gospel. It's what my spirit is. It may be rap, it may be country, it may be whatever. And I know those people who have a form of godliness will look at me and be like, but you don't know, and you don't know me, and you don't know the relationship and the personal relationship. Like me and God, listen, God don't give me no week or no 2 weeks. The minute I'm out of pocket, God right here in my face. What you doing? What you
Right.
said? Uh, what who? Nah, you know that ain't right. Don't even say that. It's to the
Right.
point now. Before I say it out my mouth, and it could be on the tip of my tongue, and God say, "Don't say it." I be like, "Ooh, ooh." I said, all right, God, you said don't say it, because I know if I say it, you can't intervene and do what you need to do, because I don't open up my mouth
Right.
and made a mess. So now I'm gonna have to wait. But if I keep my mouth closed, I know the battle yours and it belong to me. And so that's where relationship came in. What God say, I don't care how mad they get. I could be fighting mad. And God
Right.
say, you better not. You better not. Because if you
Right.
say it, I can't move as quick as I want to
Mm-hmm.
and turn this thing around in your favor. Now, I still can do it, but it may take a minute. Because if what you done said done offended them or done did this. But if you stay silent, come on. If you stay silent, I can go in and turn that thing around so fast, make that head person swim. Make that person head swim. And that was all through me digging in and me seeking God in my closet
Right.
and putting out what man had to say and start tuning my ear into what the spirit had to say.
Right.
And so I went on the phone with y'all, but that lets us know how we are connected spiritually.
Yes.
That the
Yes.
That's
spirit
right.
don't lie. And
No.
if you just had a conversation with it, I just came back and repeated the same thing. We know that God is
Yep.
within us,
That's
and
right.
we're on the right path to for us to overcome, and then to be able to help others overcome as well.
Yeah.
That's real. And that's my ministry. It really is. I have a heart to just want to help people. Like, just help. And
Yeah.
I'm more drawn to the ones that people done counted out. Those are the ones that I like. I like the ones that people done counted out, that they done talked about, they done dogged, they done mistreated them.
That's it.
I love going to them and I love pouring into them and letting them know you are enough.
Right.
And I thank God gave me the gift to be able to see them in that light, in that
Right.
aspect,
Right.
because everybody has counted them out. But for me, I think that is like a super gift, because if people don't see you in the light that God sees you, whenever God do what he do, it's gonna surprise them. It's
Right.
gonna be a big surprise. It's gonna be like, that's such and such over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
it's them.
They ain't gonna
It's
see
them in the
it.
flesh.
They're in the flesh, boo.
It's them in the flesh. Y'all,
In
Yes.
the,
you counted them out. You left them for
right.
dead.
Come
You
on.
talked about them. You
That's
mistreated them
it. That's
because they
it.
were going through something and you didn't
Mm,
understand.
come
But
on.
guess what? God raised them up. God
Mhm.
cleaned them up, and
Come
God
on.
have them out. The
Ooh.
the blessing that God has done for them is unmatched.
Come
It's
on.
unmatched. It's unmatched. I love like pouring into the ones that are broken. I do. The ones that are counted out.
Yeah.
That's my ministry. That is me. I love it, because whenever God do whatever it is that he's going to do for them, I'll be over there like, God did that for them. God, make sure they see it. Do it big. I
Right.
be praying. I'm the one that pray in the background. Be like,
Listen.
hurry up, do it, do something, clean them up, God.
That's it.
I'm that person. And Tab, you know me, girl. I be, God, get them,
Get them.
get them,
That's it. That's it.
get them. If I can't reach them, let somebody else reach them.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Like
it.
for real, I love it, because it's just amazing to see the glow up. It really is.
Right.
It really is, and it feels good to be able to be a part, even if you're not a part, like you're naturally connected, like in the natural, but it feels good to be connected spiritually, because
Right.
like, dang God, I prayed for that, and you
Right.
you allowed me, you love me so much, you allowed me to witness this for
Right.
that person.
Right.
And that's a flex within itself.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this: it was this kid. I told my cousin the story. It was this kid. I went to a Quick Trip, which is a gas station. For those of you in Florida that don't know what a Quick Trip is, it's a gas station. And this kid was there, and when I went inside the door, I went in to to get what I needed to get. Now, mind you, how I ended up at Quick Trip, I was supposed to go inside of what I forgot what I was supposed to go inside of. It was a grocery store. But I was
Mhm.
supposed to go inside the grocery store. I went inside the grocery store, ended up coming inside the grocery store, doing my little shopping. I went there for sunflower seeds. I was craving sunflower seeds this particular day. Went in the grocery store to get the sunflower seeds because I know that they had them in that particular grocery store. It was a Kroger. I believe it was Kroger's. So went in, got distracted. I forgot what I picked up. Picked up everything else but what I wanted to pick up, what I
Right.
originally came in there to pick up.
Right.
So I get halfway home and I say, oh, I said, God, I done left my sunflower seeds at the store. And I said, I'm not going back to go get them either. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go down here to the little Speedy. It's a little Speedy gas station, right? Not too far from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And God say no, go to Quick Trip. And I'm driving now. I'm talking to God just like this. I said, now God, why you gonna tell me to go to Quick Trip when Speedy right here? That's 2 miles back that way. God said, do what I tell you to do. Go to Quick Trip. So I go to Quick Trip. I pull into Quick Trip. I'm getting out, and this kid, I'm coming in, and I have like this exchange with this kid, and him and I started talking or whatever, and one thing I just started like pouring into him. And after me pouring into him, and I started to get really emotional. Just seeing him, I started getting emotional and just talking to him. And I said, I'm sorry that I'm getting emotional. I said, but I have a son that's your age. And I said, you remind me of him. And I said, it's making me emotional. So the boy said, what's your son name? And up here they call my son A3. I said A3. He said, oh, that's my friend. Da, da, da. So he starts like kind of going in. He was like, yeah, yeah, that's my friend. He light skinned. I'm like, yeah. So I pull out a picture and I show him. He said, you A3 mom? And I said, yeah. He said, you his mom? I'm like, yes. He was like, oh my goodness. Like, you're A3 mom. Like, he just kept like repeating it. I'm like, yes, I'm his mom. He was like, wow. Wow. He was like, you my mama now. So I say, yes, I'll be your mom. So I gave him a hug and I gave him some money. And I said, let me pray for you before you leave. So I prayed for him. And I asked him, I said, are you hungry? Because the boy was homeless. I said, are you hungry? He was like, yes, ma'am. So I took him to the store. It was like a restaurant not too far from the store. I said, well, let me go ahead and get my sunflower seeds. And I said, when I come back, I'll take you to get something to eat. So we proceeded to go to get something to eat. He wanted some Moe's. So we went to Moe's. And when we walking in the store, he was so ecstatic. He was telling the people, I was like, oh Lord. He was like, y'all, this my mama. This my mama. He's like pointing to me. And he was like, I'm like, oh God. So he was like, well, he told the guy behind the thing, he said, this really not my mama for real, but this my friend mama. So she my mama. So I was like, okay. So he asked me, he said, what can I get? I said, you can get whatever you want. I said, just whatever you need, just get it. He was like, for real? I'm like, yeah, whatever you want, get it. So he ordered his food and he fixes it. So I after I'm about to get ready to part ways and he gave me a hug again. He was like, wow, like he kept saying, I can't believe that you're A3's mom. He said, I gotta call him and tell him that I saw his mom, his mom. He was like, wow. So I told him, I said, son, stop smoking. I said, stay out of trouble, okay? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, no, for real. I said, please. I said, do it. I said, I tell my son this all the time. I said, I'm telling you, just like I tell my son. I said, I know y'all at that age where y'all think certain things are cool. I said, but please, I said, stay out of the streets. I said, just try to get yourself together. He said, yes, ma'am. So I gave him a hug and I gave him some money and I left. And about a month later, um, about a month later, I ended up. God told me to go back to the store to that quick trip. That quick trip, and I saw him. I saw the boy. When I got out, I didn't even recognize him.
Mm.
And I got out. I went inside the store, and he said, "Mom." And he was holding the door for me, and I looked at him. I was like, "Hey," and I kept walking because I didn't recognize him. And he said, "Mom, it's me." I said, oh my God, girl, I got so overjoyed. I jumped on him. This boy did not look the same. He
Mm.
didn't smell the same. He said, Mom, I stopped smoking. I got me a job. God blessed me with a little spot. He took me to his little spot. He said, I live not too far from here. He said, I want to show you my spot.
Mm.
Oh,
Listen. Mm.
man. And my God, I'm about to cry because I told my cousin, I said, when I pray for something, I want to be able to witness it come to
Right.
pass. God allowed me to witness that come to pass. And I couldn't do nothing but give God the glory. I said, God, if you did it for him, I know you're gonna do it for my son. If you did it for him, I know you're gonna be faithful over my son the same way you set this kid free. Not even like it was a month later. I saw him. And when I tell you my heart was so overjoyed, it was so overwhelmed. I couldn't do nothing but thank God. And I cried all the way home. I cried and I cried and I cried all the way home. I had to pull over because I was just crying. I had so much joy. on the inside of me. And I said, you know what, God, I said, I don't know if anybody praying over that kid and I don't know his family. I said, but God, I said, I take him in as his spiritual mom. And I said, I'll cover him. I said, on the north, the south, the east, the west, I began to just speak life, just continue just to speak life. And I said, God, just as well as you did it for my son, did it for my spiritual son, God, do it for my natural son.
Amen.
And it was just crazy. Like, I don't know, it was just crazy. And my son texted me and he said, Mom, he said, my friend told me that you saw him. He said, thank you. He said, Mom, thank you for pouring into my friend. He said, and I ended up having a conversation with my son not too long after that. My son ended up coming home, and I had been having a lot of problems with my son. And I talked to my cousin. I'll say about 2 or 3 days after that, my son ended up coming home, and we kind of had a conversation. And he told me, he said, Mom, he said, the impact that you have on my friends, he was like, sometimes I just look and say, wow. And he said, and I told him, I said, son, I said, it probably doesn't affect you the same way because I'm your parent.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you were raised with this love and this compassion. And when they don't have it, it's easy for them to embrace it whenever somebody's giving it to them. It's like, wow, I need this, I want this. And I
Right.
said, for you, it's a little different. And he said, Mom, I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know. I don't. And I said, son, it's okay. I said, at the end of the day, I said, God knows and he sees. I said, just continue to pray. Just
Mm-hmm.
continue to pray and ask God to lead you and guide you. I said, you know what I taught you. I said, so just continue to, to stay in that form. But I said that to say, you know, even when we think God don't hear, God hears. Even when we don't think God sees, he sees.
Mm-hmm.
And that, even though my son is still on another path, every time I think about that little boy, I'm like, you know what, God, you did that for him. I
Mm-hmm.
know what you gonna do for mine.
Yep.
Right.
So it was just encouraging for me as a mom. It was encouraging to me. It boosts my faith level. Like, I thought I was on a high, before that incident. It just boosts my faith level on so many levels to be able to just continue to, like, to see that, to witness that, to pray something. And then God says, okay, you prayed for this. Now look, boom, I'm going to put this thing that you prayed for right back in your face.
Right.
And I don't know, it was a really joyful moment. And I just wanted to share that because it was part of overcoming,
Right.
the
Right.
overcoming.
And even more so, the gift is a gift to be able to pray for others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And because everybody can't do that. And or pray in the manner that we ought to pray.
Right.
And what got me to overcome and understand that in the moment you prayed for that young man, you sowed seeds for your son.
Lord, thank
Yes.
Because whatsoever a man soweth shall that man reap.
Yep.
When God gave me the revelation behind that scripture, I stopped speaking about people in a negative manner. Because what God showed me was, you not hurting that person.
right.
You hurting you. Because you let that negative word or whatever come out your mouth,
Right.
and whatsoever you sow, you gonna reap.
Right.
I can't plant corn in my yard and then go over there, Janice, and look in your backyard to see if it's gonna come up. No, it's
Right.
gonna come out right back here where I sowed it at.
Right.
When I learned that shifted my whole trajectory. And if, like the old people say, you don't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
That's true.
So, in praying for that young man, you really, in essence, are praying for your son.
Yeah.
What God wanted you to know is, though, I'm not a man that I should lie, nor the son of man that I should repent. And if I said it, and when you spoke the words out of your mouth, he said it, I'm going to do it. The word is going to come to pass. Now, what happens is when some things don't happen as quickly as we want them to, we may start to think, well, maybe that ain't what God got for me. Well,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe God not going to do it for me. And what God is saying, no, no, no. I'm going to do it because my word will not return void unto me.
Right.
I just need you to maintain in faith. Because right now, what he's saying is, it seems like in the Bible where it talks about going through that little valley of the shadow of death. And what God gave me is not death, but it has the resemblance of death. Sometimes it can smell like death. It feels like death. It gives that death look. But God says it's not death. And sometimes because in dealing with kids, and my oldest son, Lord knows, I got a testimony behind that one, Lord. When I tell you, prayed and prayed on top of prayers and up late at night, early mornings, and but when I just had to, even with him, what God had to tell me, God said the same way I've
Mm.
kept you. You've been young, you've been out here in the streets,
Yeah.
you've been out here in clubs and these places, and your mama call you and you don't answer the phone because you having fun and you don't want her to be fussing at you and be a buzzkill or whatever the case may be. He said the same way I kept you, that same keeping power that I used to keep you. It's the same power I'm gonna use to keep your seed. What I need you to do is just to keep praying and keep holding on to the faith. And then in his timing. Because for us, what may seem to be 5 to 10 years ain't nothing but a snippet to God.
Yeah.
Right.
So the moment you pray for that young man, them same seeds you actually put in the ground to come back and reap in your house,
Yeah.
for your son. When we pray increase, that's why we should be when we see somebody else winning, be excited for them, praying for
Yes.
prosperity,
Yeah.
praying for healing, praying for health, because we praying it for ourselves. I'm sowing that seed for myself right along as I'm praying it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, sis. Look, we're gonna have to dig deep because these kids, when we
Yeah.
get to worry about these
Girl,
children,
girl, listen, let me tell you something. I got a whole segment on just that alone. If
listen,
don't nobody know, my cousin know. I'm gonna have to come back and do a whole segment. Y'all gonna have to interview me, baby.
listen. What?
And
Listen.
Tamasha, I want to go back to something you said. You said it was leading back to God, and it starts with the inner you, because that inner is God.
Yeah,
And so, because you were talking about the church and everything you were doing in church, and it was like you were doing it for man. But the thing is, servitude starts that way.
yeah,
Servitude, it starts in a way that it may look like you're doing it for man, but no, God is just prepping you. He's
yeah,
just prepping you to get ready for what you've been called to do.
yeah,
So I don't necessarily see it as like doing it for man. I just think you were in a place where you may have thought that was the case, but it was, to me, it's intentionality.
Yeah.
You were doing a lot of intentional good things for the church, not knowing this was going to be my value for the time to come, and for the things that I was going to be doing later on
Right.
in my life, because
yeah.
we don't get the whole picture. God only give us what we need for us. He only gives it in part.
Right,
So, and I like it because I'm just looking at some of my notes, because I'll be writing as y'all be talking.
right. Look, me too.
So, but when you were talking about that, it hit home with me, because I remember being the usher, and I still would do that hands down. I don't even like, I don't know. I love praying for people. I love like interceding. That is my thing.
Yeah,
And like Janice, I want to know when people, like, I ain't gonna lie, I be wanting to know, like, God, I pray for this. I don't want, it's not to have a big head, but I'm a boast in you, because I'm allowed to do that, because
right,
it's your glory that help, you use me for my prayers. You
Right.
didn't have to. You didn't have to use me that way, but you did.
right,
Right.
And so what we need to start realizing is that these people need people just as much as we do.
right,
I think so many times we miss the mark because we judge too
Ooh,
quickly.
girl.
We judge so quickly and we forget we don't miss through some stuff too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not right that so and so can't go through what they going through and then be judged for it.
Right.
If you go out somewhere, you're right. People want to judge you by when you go out somewhere or do something. Don't judge me because you don't know who I am. You don't know where I am. You don't know what I've been through.
Right.
And I haven't told you my story.
Right.
But that's why I know we're here because our testimony is going to help people overcome.
Right.
We are overcome by the word of our testimony. Like, and so we have to tell people that there is a way. There is a way out. And the only way is dealing with you, dealing with that inner part of you that you think that you messed up.
Yeah.
God is disgusted with that.
Right.
No, he loves that.
Right.
He
Right.
loves that part. And I'm gonna go a little bit further and go biblical on it. Jesus, look at the disciples.
Come on.
Every single disciples was jacked. jacked
They were.
up.
You know?
I mean, Judas, I'm gonna tell you, I feel like Judas was the right-hand man of Jesus.
Yeah.
And look what he did.
Right.
And he didn't have to go kill himself because guess what? The Father had forgiven him.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at the man that was right there on the cross next to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He just like that.
Yeah.
So who are we to say what that person can get? I
Right.
can guarantee you the people that are coming in from the world right now are going to get more than what we get.
Yeah.
I really believe that. But you got to want God. You
That's
got to
right.
want to put him in it. You got to want to have him right there at the forefront. And Janice, I believe that kid wanted God at the forefront. He was tired of going through. I'm
Yeah.
tired of doing this on my own. I'm tired of being out here like alone and not having anybody.
Right.
And
Right.
God sent you there right in the nick of time.
Right.
You don't know what you saved that man from.
Right.
You don't know what it was that he was about to do that day or
Right.
what he was going through that day. But you were right there, right where God needed you. And life and death lies in the power of the tongue.
That's true.
Everything that you say about somebody, I can guarantee you it's going to come back to you.
That's true.
And not only that, you'll be finding yourself going through some things and you said something. And this is real. I'm giving you my truth because I know we ain't talking about truth, but I've overcome this. And I remember I would say some things and then I'm like, God, why am I going through this?
Yeah.
And then Holy Spirit would be like, you remember that time when you said this?
Uh,
And now it's coming back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's
And
it.
then not only that, I always ask God for wisdom. I didn't know Solomon for a long time. I didn't know Solomon had to actually go through the things in order to get the wisdom.
Yeah.
He went through so much. This man had everything, but he said, God, I just want wisdom.
Yeah.
Solomon would begin to go through some things and he came out on the other side. He always came out with the victory. It didn't matter all the stuff that he had. What mattered is like, he was another one. I just want you, God. I just want what you got for me. Because if I can get that in me, then I can go out and help somebody else. I can for somebody else. And it also goes back to David. It's the same thing. Everybody y'all talked about tonight. I'm telling you, I'm like a biblical person because that's just me. Janice know me. I'm just listening to everything y'all saying. And it's like, man, God, this is biblical. This is what you're calling your people to. We need to talk about these things. We need to set the captives free. So many people are stuck because you said something, you don't even realize you said it. You've done something, you don't even realize what you've done. But I think people are so afraid to ask God, God, show me.
Yeah.
Show me who I am.
That's
That's
it.
it.
God show, Jesus. When God show you who you are, it ain't pretty.
No.
It ain't pretty. And you be thinking all these years, 10, 15 years, you got it together, and God be like, I'm finna shut you down right now.
All the way down.
And he does that. I remember a girl, she was speaking, and as she on here, she'll know. She said, what God will do, he'll cut you up and sew you right back together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, keep doing that. Keep doing that to your people.
Yeah.
Because so many people in the church, and I didn't want to go here, but I'm gonna go here because I'm being led to. But so many people in the church are being hurt and not and the thing is, if you get a prophetic word, it comes from the spirit. How dare you think that you're gonna go out and that prophetic word and use it in the natural? It just
Right.
doesn't work that way.
Right.
People are abusing the word and making it their own. They're cliches, so many cliches, and I done went back and read these words in the Bible, and it didn't even mean what the people been saying in the word, like they've been preaching about. We need the teachers out here to teach these people who are out here in the hedges and the highways. That's
Right.
what we're supposed to be doing. We ain't coming from the people in the church because y'all really technically we supposed to already have it together. I ain't saying we got it all together, but we
Right.
supposed to already have it together so we can go out and bring. We need to bring the harvest in.
Right.
The
That's right.
harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
You.
Like, what are we doing? And these people out here perishing. So we have to get in a place where we know who we are. We know these things that we could walk out of. I don't want to keep being that person. So one of y'all said it. I don't want to keep being that person that I have to sit there and like go on and on and on. No, I want you to get it the first time I tell you.
Right.
Right.
I want you to understand who you are the first time I say this, that, or whatever it may be.
Right.
It's so serious out here. I'm watching too many people die, too many people disappearing.
Yeah.
It's just, how can we be more effective in the kingdom
Yeah.
so more people can overcome these things that they are going through?
Right.
And that's what I want. I want to be there for people. And
Yeah.
Janice knows, like, I have a boundary. I have a big boundary where I'll tell people, and I'm gonna stop. I told her I'm gonna stop saying this. I'm not your friend. I'm your spiritual sister. I want to help you to get what God called you to be. Because if I become your friend, then I may tell you stuff that you don't need. But you have people out there that overload others who they going through enough without you adding to what they're already trying to overcome.
Right.
You have people who are in marriages that have no right to tell people about their marriages. You have people in friendships that have no right to say these things that are going on in friendship relationships. Why are we backtracking?
Yeah.
Some have grown so much, but you're backtracking.
Yes.
What are you backtracking for? If you take the time to love on you first, you would have had the one that you were supposed to be with. You probably missed it because you didn't take the time to take care of you.
Yeah.
And it's time out for that. I'm tired of people being so like, I see people and they're just drained. They're not being in their calling. They're not doing what they're supposed to be. I know y'all see it too, because we see so many people and I'm like, man. And I'm just getting to the point where when I'm around people, it pulls too much out of me.
Yeah.
So as as we talk today, I don't want to be around like people that's going to drain me.
Right.
I want to be around people that's going to add to me, but I also want to be in the places where I'm supposed to be the most effective.
That's right.
If it's got to be in the hedges and the highways, then that's where I want to be. Right. I know it's some things that I done fell short of, and it's the daily repentance.
Right.
But we got to come back to what it really, really means, and it is not about us anymore.
Right.
Now, we don't have those people here who can push us now. We don't have the grandparents. The old people that used to be here, they dying off. Let's be real. Now we're becoming those people. So what are we doing? What are we doing with the gift that God has put in us? We're the chosen ones, as everybody been saying. Well, why don't we act like we chosen and do what God has called us to do?
That's true. That's true. And Tal, just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, girl, I've been trying not to get too emotional today. I'm trying to keep it cute and keep it together. But it's so many points that's been hit here on so many different angles, on so many things that God been speaking and speaking within my heart to just do. And it goes back to the church, what you was talking about the church. You know, I feel that for me, I haven't I haven't been a member of a church for over 8 or 9 years now. I would say because I've been living here in Georgia for 7 years, and I stopped going to church maybe a year or two before I came here. And at that time, um, I didn't understand like why I was being called and set aside from the church. But it wasn't until I kind of got by myself and here, and I'm here. It's just me and my kids. So it was kind of like one of those things where God is like, okay, I want to teach you now. And I want to go back to reflect, because when if I can resonate with anybody in the Bible, I would say Abraham would be the person that I'm our my life resembles more. I'm more of a Abraham. And God told Abraham, you know, leave your father, your mother and father's house. I have land that is promised to you, but you have to go get it. You have to be obedient. And I can remember whenever God told me to leave Florida.
Mhm.
And I was like, where I'm gonna go and what I'm gonna do. And God say, don't worry about that. I came to Atlanta, Georgia on Memorial Day weekend seven years ago. I was only supposed to stay a weekend. And by Sunday, God said, you're not going back. I had like a week worth of clothes here. I wasn't planning on just up and leaving. My vehicles was in Florida and everything. I didn't have anything. My kids was in Florida. I called their father. I said, hey, I'm gonna stay. I'm staying in Atlanta. And he said, what? I said, yeah, I'm gonna stay. God told me to stay. But on my journey to here, God spoke to me and he said, you're crossing over to the land flowing with milk and honey.
Mm.
And when I tell you, it hasn't been easy in I would say the first year or so that I was here. But when I tell you, it feels like I'm living in the land flowing with milk and honey, baby,
Come
I'm
on.
living in that.
Yes.
Living even when hardship comes, it still feels like milk and honey.
Come
And
on.
that is so real. And I
Mhm.
told God, I said, God, I'm so glad that I listened to your voice and not my own,
Mm.
because I was worried about so many things. I told God what type of house that I wanted. When I tell you, Tamasha, everything that I said that I wanted, I'm living in that.
Mm.
I'm living in that
Mm.
to the point where I have it and I don't even care for it anymore. God say, I gave you everything that you asked for, and I don't even care about it anymore. It's like, if I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. And I tell my cousin that all the time. God put me in a space where I'm not attached to the materialistic things. I'm not attached to those things anymore. And I thank God for putting me in a place where I'm not attached, because now he can fully use me, because I don't have anything that's holding me back. I'm not I'm not emotionally inbound from what I go through with my son or any of my children. If anything go on, I'm not so caught up in what's going on. I can't do the work or what God is calling me to do. If anything has happened, I literally, a month of me staying here, I lost my grandmother. My grandmother was my mom. She raised me from 3 months old. And then a year after that, my grandfather passed away. And then my mom passed away. God literally stripped me from everything that was so familiar to me. And he raised me up and he said, they've completed their job in your life. Now it's time for you to be that. It's time for you to be that for your children. It's time for you to be that for your family. It's time for you to be that for people that don't even know you, that don't even know your name, that doesn't even know your existence right now. But there will be a appointed time for someone to know who you are when I appoint you to that. And I'm telling you, like, when I tell you, the church didn't teach me that, God did.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going back to that. Everything that I went through, God literally said, it's me and you. And I'm not gonna lie, like there are some people that need the church, but
Right.
there are some people that God is calling to be the leaders,
Mm-hmm.
to be the forerunners, to be the trailblazers. And I feel that you will never know who you truly are if you keep following man.
Right.
You have to be able to say, God, I surrender. And that's hard. It can
Mhm.
be hard. It can be challenging. It can be tough because I battled with a lot with that. I'm not perfect. And my cousin, she knows me. Tamasha, you know me. I'm
Mhm.
not perfect. I'm far from it.
Right.
But one thing that I can honestly say that I have, even though I can't say I'm perfect, I claim and profess to be perfect. I have God. So
Mhm.
even though, and I'm real with him, I'm like, God, show me me. At
Right.
one at one point in time, I didn't want God to show me me. I didn't want him to show me, expose me to anybody else. But now I beg him, God, show me me. Show me me so I can be better. Show
Right.
me me so I can overcome these flaws. Show me me. And some stuff he showed me I absolutely do not like. I'm embarrassed of and
Mhm.
shamed of. And I'm like, God, please don't let nobody else see this.
Mm-hmm.
But it gives me the motivation to correct it.
Yes.
It gives me the motivation to correct the flaws that are in me that I don't like. And it has nothing to do with what the world sees and don't sees, but I don't like it. Me,
Yeah.
myself personally, I don't like this about myself. My ways, we all have ways that we don't like. And we like, why do I do that? But I'm learning to be real with myself. And like I say, be real with God. And I'm glad that I answered the call 7 years ago to be obedient to God's will, because coming here has been a game changer for me. And it has been a game changer because God took me from everybody that was familiar with me. And now they're seeing me and they're like, this ain't the same Janice that left here 7 years ago. And I get that all the time. And for me, I get excited when I hear that, not because it strokes my ego. It's like, God, you doing the work. You
Yeah.
promised me this. You said this. And it's to be living in that space, to be living in a living in a situation where your own family don't recognize who you are sometimes. I think that I don't know, it's I'm a God amazed me. He amazes me. He
Amen.
amazes
Amen. Amen. And so first, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, and I want to go back. We were talking about the church.
yes.
So just a quick snippet of my background. PK, my grandfather pastored 4 churches. My dad was a minister. My uncle was a minister. And then like my grandfather, he pastored churches like they were out of town. So we all lived up in the Atlanta area. But
Yeah.
the churches he pastored was like Columbus, Manchester. So about an hour, hour and a half away from the Atlanta area. And
Right.
so he went to each one church a Sunday. And so we would, load up and all go down there to go to church and stuff. So I was brought up in the church, raised in the church. Um, I even remember the day that I got saved. I got up, I was in my chair, just in the back, and it was like God was just like, go to the front. And I was like, why? He was like, go to the front. Why? And then it was like my feet just got up and like I just was guided down the little aisle to go down to the church and said, I want to be saved. Didn't even really know what being saved was. Got saved, got baptized, and then, just kind of went on from there. And the more I came up in the church, my perception, what I gathered back then. And a lot of times I used to sleep and laugh. I'm super silly. So I'm always, looking for a reason to laugh, which I still do today. But anyway, so back then in the church, I'm silly. I'm cutting up my cousins. We ain't paying attention. We wait for my granddad to crack jokes so we can laugh and all these different things. So I grew up and I got about 18 or 19. I I can remember being in church and thinking to myself that from what I've heard over the years that, you know, if you a sinner, if you drink, you smoke, you curse,
Tamasha.
you look at somebody too long, everything, you going to hell for everything. Let me just throw that out there. Everything was
Go,
in the you.
Tamasha.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Listen,
Keep
you
go
going
there.
to hell for everything. And so I grew up thinking that God was this person that was outside of me. And because I was this little sinner, I was this wretch undone, that my prayers didn't get higher than the ceiling. Because that's what they told you. Yes, prayers ain't going higher than the ceiling. So I came up with, well, the only person who can speak to me from God is the pastor. You know, he's the only one who is righteous enough that God is going to speak to him, then he going to speak to us, and then we get our instructions. And so I'll say I was really naive when it came to spirituality and all those things. Because I was one of those people, if you told me something, I kind of followed it for a little bit. Then I got scared. I don't want to go to hell. I don't hear about all this burning and the devil and the demons, and I don't want to go to hell. So whatever y'all tell me, that's what I'm gonna do. And even getting back to Tab, when you were talking and we were talking about words, and you said you got to a point where you was thinking, and God reminded you, no, that's something you said. That's how it came into your life. And so I remember one day, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, you know, reading and just back then the old people would say, oh yeah, they praying against me, they plotting against me. Oh, such and such must be doing this, they must be doing that. And so as I kind of, you know, started reading for my own and trying to get an understanding of the Bible, and I had a conversation with God one day, and I say, God, how can somebody else have the power to think something towards me or speak something towards me and it happens? Like,
Right.
why would you give somebody else that type of power over me and my life? Like, that
Right.
just didn't seem fair to me, because it could be somebody out there who want me dead. So you mean now I got to tiptoe around everybody on eggshells and be nice and be, even though if I don't like them, if they mistreat me, they manipulate me, I got to be nice because I don't want this person to pray something that's gonna
Right.
come back and hurt me and bring harm to me. And God set me down and he said, life and death is in the power of your tongue. And it's what you're speaking over your life. It's the thoughts that you're thinking about yourself and your life that you're seeing presenting itself in your life. Nobody else has the power to speak something over your life and it comes into fruition, other than if you hear them and then you take it in and you believe it for yourself. Other
Mhm.
than that, can't nobody curse you. Can't nobody send you to hell. Can't nobody wish that you don't have nowhere to stay. Because
Yep.
going back to whatsoever a man soweth shall that man reap.
Yep.
Yep.
When that man released that word, they sowing that seed for themselves, not me, unless I hear it and then I take it in and I believe it.
Right.
So once God opened that up and he said, muzzle your mouth
Mm.
because the wicked one is before you. So just as do we pray to God and for our angels to be dispatched to bring forth protection and
That's right.
guidance and help and whatever we need, prosperity and relationships and all these things, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the enemy has his angels, or however you refer to them, there too. So when you go speaking opposite of what God has told us to speak about ourselves, oh, I'm sick, I'm broke, I'm tired,
Yep.
I'm miserable, I'm this, I'm that. He
Mm-hmm.
says, the wicked one is before you. So
That's
now you have just given that entity the power to
you coming
take
in
your
agreement.
words,
That's it.
turn them
Coming in agreement.
around. It's like giving the person that who are holding the gun the bullet to turn around and shoot back at you. You just gave them the power to
Right.
use back at you. And when God started revealing that to me, he shut my mouth for 2 years. 2 years. If I it was out, it wasn't no back and forth with nobody, it wasn't no gossiping, it wasn't no nothing. He said, because once you learn this and you stop speaking against yourself,
That's
and I
right.
went from my mouth to my head, because then it's the thoughts, the things that you think. Then it's
That's
what's the
right.
heart. That's why God has to clean up the heart, because out of the heart flows the issues of life. Where
Yes.
do they flow? They flow out of your mouth.
Wow.
When they flow out of your mouth, now who
That's
hear
true.
them? You do, and whoever else is around you. Your
Right.
thoughts. You are the hero of your thoughts.
Yes.
And so when God started working on me, baby, with that mind, that mouth, and that heart, and how they are connected, and you got to guide all of them and train all of them. The reason why I can be fighting mad with somebody and not cuss them out. Like me and Janice was talking the other day. Yes, I'm a cusser.
Peter.
Peter.
Peter, Miss Peter.
Yeah. That's Peter's sister.
Oh, listen, Peter's my brother now, because I can lay him down and pick him up when I want to.
Pateria.
But one thing about it was an issue with God when I cursed and I didn't have any control over it. When I oh, they made me mad, oh, they pissed me off, oh, they cut me off, oh, they did this, they did that, they did that, they did this. So when I started taking account and responsibility for myself and going within to deal with me, now if I curse, I consciously know I'm getting ready to curse. I don't just unconsciously cuss somebody out, then, oh, I blanked out. Oh, I did this. No, I know well within what I'm doing. And
Right.
Mhm.
so at the moment when God is like, all right, Tamasha, give up cussing, I'm gonna let it go. I ain't married to it. It's just I like the word sometimes. It flow, it just have a better emphasis sometimes, And
Honesty.
I just want to say
Be honest.
right. And even with my drinking. Like it was a time that I used to drink and I was drinking away my problems. I was miserable. I was angry. I was depressed. I didn't have no hope. I didn't have no joy. And I would try to drink those things away. Now, if I get a drink, it's for the enjoyment of that drink. It's not because I'm hiding or I'm trying to escape what I'm currently going through. And I feel like for me, it's the same thing as cussing. When God say, all right, it's time on my body, because my body will let me know different things too. When I get into different places and I shift into different levels, my body will start saying, nope, don't want it. And then my body react a different way. I know I like, all right, God, it must be you, because my body don't want it. It must be you saying, let it go. Um, but I know I'm at the point where neither of those things has a hold on me. To where if God said right now, Tomas, you can't have another drink, or Tomas, don't you say another cuss word, I'd be over here praying every 2 minutes because I'm still cussing or I'm still drinking. That's not the case. I've gotten to the point where if it's time to let it go, hey, I can let it go. I'm not married to it, and then I'm not doing it because I'm trying to escape a reality or something that I'm dealing with. I've learned how to one control my emotions. That's very important.
Yes.
Very, very important in
Yes.
elevation. God is being control of your emotions,
That's
because
true.
if you don't, you'll be all over the place in every
Mhm.
Yes.
situation. Everything got you about to fall out. Oh, about to have a
That's right.
oh, about to cuss somebody out. Um, but I can say that. Oh, and I did want to go back and just talk, thinking about that original thing about that speaking life and death with our words and being mindful of that, and then coming from a place where I felt like other people had power, but when God brought that revelation of His word to let me know, no, it's your words. It's the things that you speak out of your mouth. It's the thoughts that you think in your head. And then once you change those and you let your thoughts be my thoughts, and you elevate your thoughts. Because one thing about God, He's not bringing His thoughts down to our level. He's
That's
not
Mhm.
right.
coming down here
Right.
to this level. We're gonna
Mm.
have to elevate up
Level up.
and
Mm.
get people to get their minds to a level that's on the level of God and on the level of Christ. And
Right.
so I had something else. I don't know. You had said something else, Tab. I was like, oh Lord, I wrote down the wrong word. I don't know what I wrote. And so even overcoming that, I had to overcome being a negative thinker, being a negative speaker,
Yeah.
thinking negative about other people. All those things. Like, and I'm so glad because I could look at the version of myself today and just be like, God, I am so grateful for
Right.
everything everything that I went through. Now there was not a time,
Yeah.
because there were times I went through some things and I like, God, why? I don't understand. But I can look back now, and as I say, when you look back over your life, and
Yeah.
everything had to happen the way it did to
Yes.
teach me and even get me to be the person that I am today. Like now, if
Right.
I go out and somebody can have on the most craziest outfit or something that I would just totally never do, I'd be like, okay, that's them. Like it ain't me. Or if I was like my husband, he'd be, what in the world? I'm like, leave them people alone. Let people be free to wear and do what they want to do. Like I don't have nothing to say because I
Right.
learned, and I like the old folks, even though they used to tell us stuff, but they ain't give us no revelation about it. You
No,
ain't got nothing good to
we
say.
talk about that all the time.
They ain't
Yeah,
give us
with
no
all that
revelation.
stuff.
You ain't got nothing good to say. Don't say nothing at all. Well, I didn't know in my saying something bad, I was sowing the seed that I was gonna come back and reap for myself, or I was speaking damnation over myself. Like that would have been real helpful to let us know. But thank God that he did.
Yeah. I want to say, and I know Janice, you probably got something to add, but I want to tell like a little small testimony again because I want people to understand. Because Tamasha, you hit on something really huge. You talked about the emotions, you talked about the mind, you talked
Yes.
about the heart, what truly is the heart. And I remember years ago, I was transitioning into a natural. That was back in the day where everybody was beginning to transition.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of the perm. I just want to transition. So I was in the mirror one day, and that was the day I decided to transition. And I came in here and I have always had good hair. So when the perm was in, I had put my hair up in a ponytail and just let it kind of like, it wasn't thick, but it was thick enough that it was cute enough.
Right.
And so I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, God, and this is me looking in the mirror. I'm like, God, what is my problem? Why am I so hard on myself? Why do I keep going through this? Because I went through a lot of low self-esteem issues at that time. I felt like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was the ugliest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so to become a natural, it was a hard thing to do, but God led me to do that. I'm just being honest. I wasn't doing it because everybody was doing it, but I had got God. It was like God just showed me, no, don't put those chemicals back in your hair again.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I didn't do it. I didn't know why. But as I would see over the years, I understand now. I
Right.
get it now. Those chemicals were killing people.
Right.
Right.
So I was in here. I came in here one day and God was like, really, it was just like the first thing like he showed me is that your thoughts, the enemy can't hear your thoughts. Only I can hear your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
He says when you speak that thing out of your mind, out of your mouth, that's when you the enemy will take it and run with it. And then you wonder why you're going through this, that, and like, because the thing is we blame the enemy for so much.
Oh,
Do you know
Yeah.
how jealous God is when we blame the enemy for something that honestly, if you look back over your life of to where you came from today, God done took you through a lot of stuff. He just allowed the enemy to do it.
Yeah.
He allowed the enemy to intervene. But a lot of times it comes when you talk that thing out of your mouth,
that's
when you
right.
speak that negative thing over your life. So God would show me three different. He would show me the enemy, he would show me his voice, and he would show me my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know my voice overpowered all the voices?
Wow.
It
Yeah.
completely overpowered all the voices because all I had to do is contradict what God said about me and say it out loud.
That's it.
And that was
Oh.
all it was. And I was like, God, you have to help me. And he helped me to see, okay, you don't say nothing. If you can't, the word, if you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. It's real.
Yeah.
These words are real. They're
Yeah.
actually, honestly, biblical, but people don't even know it because they
Right.
don't know their word.
Right.
So that's another story for another time.
Listen,
But
that's a whole segment, though. It really is.
it is. It
Yeah.
is. So as I learned that, I began to break free of the low self-esteem. I used to self-sabotage myself all the time with that. Everything you were saying, it resonated with me. And I don't know if you went through low self-esteem, but I have a sense that you did. Because I can just, I can feel it. Like, and I first saw you on a Janice had spoke at a show, not a show, at an event, and you were sitting out there, and I said, that lady, I like her. I said, and I couldn't figure it out. And Janice would give me just a little bit. She didn't give me much, but I knew one day I'd be able to talk to you. And I told Janice, I said, this time when I come back to Georgia, which it will be soon, I said, I want to meet you. I want to meet you in person. Because there's so many things you said. As I've listened to you over the last couple of weeks, there's so many things that you said that has really pierced my whole soul. Down from your childhood, today, what you were talking about, down to your marriage, to your ministry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, if there was a tribal person that would come next, it would be you. It's crazy how you've really spoken about my life without even speaking about my life.
Wow.
Right.
You don't know much about me. But I just know, in that time of that mindset, the mind is everything.
Yeah.
Out of the mind can flow many rivers of water.
Come on.
It can, but it's all in how you let it come out. I'll say in the past 10, 15 years, I've gone through some things, a lot of things. But what I can say is I don't give the enemy credit.
That's it. Come on.
Credit. Because you know what? God said he's a jealous God. And I'm realizing once I say, God, what is it you're trying to take me through? What is it? And I changed my mindset. I changed how I talk now. I changed how I say a thing. Instead of me saying, oh, devil, get thee behind me. No, if you let the devil get behind you, do you know what he could do behind your back? Because you can't see behind your back. You can't. There's no way. So don't invite the devil to your back. Don't invite him in your face at all. Focus on what God is saying. And the only way I say it goes back to the word.
That's it.
You have to know who God is for yourself. It goes back to your relationship. It goes back to your mindset, your emotions. Your emotions set the fire for everything.
Come on.
Yeah.
If your heart is the emotional part. This heart, I'm gonna be honest, because sometimes that heart, somebody hits you, it hurts. Yeah. But then, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. That's a lie. That's a lie that has been told. Oh, in my growing up for so long. The thing is, sticks do hurt. Sticks will make you say things you never. And that's the heart emotion, the physical heart emotion.
Right.
This is the mental heart emotion.
Right.
This is where everything, you can make up a whole book in your head.
Child.
Yeah. A whole book. So if we can get this mind right and get it to flow in the way God wants it to flow and get all the wisdom and that understanding that we need, that's how it'll flow. I'm telling you, I sat in this mirror and God showed me where it was me, the enemy, and myself. I mean, me and him and who he was. He even showed me specifically, this is me talking to you. And that was him putting me in that mirror, looking at myself. Let me show you something.
Right.
And then here I am in my head contradicting what he's saying. And God, I don't know how. I don't know how to get through this. And then I start talking. But God, I don't see what you see. I don't understand what you see. This ain't me. I'm still ugly. I'm still this. I'm still that. And God say, that's the enemy right there.
Right.
Now you're talking to the enemy. Right. Now you're engaging with the enemy.
Right. Now you're entertaining.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So yeah.
And when you talk about the mind, everything starts and stops here. And if you can whip it here, you can whip it in any area in your life.
That's right.
And me and Janice was talking about this the other day because I was just one day I'm just going on and on and on. I say, sis, let me got this phone because we've been on this phone all day. We was out on the phone about an hour and a half. She said, no, sis, I'm just listening I'm just telling the revelation after revelation, and God and did this and that, and I'm just talking. And years ago, I stopped referencing the devil. Years ago, I got to have. Let me tell you something. a day from hell. And I mean, for me to say that devil busy or the devil busy, and I hadn't had now one of them days, okay? Years ago, because it was once again in that area. Ooh, the devil busy. Oh, the devil this. Ooh, the devil this. Ooh, the devil that. The devil, he probably got tired of me even saying his name, honey. And matter of fact, I probably said the devil name more than I said God's name. Come on now.
Right.
So when God showed me, he said, it ain't the devil. It's you. It's
Right.
what's coming out your mouth. It's
That's
what you
right.
think in your head. And he told me, he said, what has happened is, and the reason why deliverance is not coming as quickly as the church or the people would like is because as long as we have something, the devil, to place the
Yes.
responsibility on, I'll
Yes.
never look within and take the responsibility for what I'm doing in my life for the things that are happening. He said, what is happening is the people are using the devil as a crutch. So as long
Right.
as I got this crutch, I can say, oh, it's the crutch. Oh, I can't do that. I can't get around because the crutch. So it's the devil. Oh, the devil busy. Oh, the devil done made me lose my job. Oh, the devil done made them do this. Oh, the devil done got me sick. No, it's that food you put in your mouth and that gluttony that you're doing that got you
Come
sick.
on.
Oh, you ain't
Right.
got no money because you overspending and you're not budgeting your money. Come on now. It's them
Right.
children because you put down some discipline, do some things you need. It ain't got nothing to do with the devil. And when God took that away, he said, throw that crutch down and
That's
you
right.
go within. And when I went within, because what I love to say, our inner me is most times our biggest enemy.
Right.
Yes.
And when God showed me, and I got in that closet and I laid my head down and I silenced the world out, and God started dealing with me, I don't even reference the devil. I probably ain't said the devil name. I would say it in content if I'm talking to somebody because I understand the relatability when I'm
Mhm.
talking to church folk per se.
Right.
But as in my own personal, that devil is that devil hit. I hadn't did it in probably I want to say 10 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
He gets no credit. If it's something, let me tell you how God let me tell you how good God is with me. If something happens, I'm to the point where I can say, that doesn't belong to me.
Mm.
Right.
I haven't sowed that type of seed to reap that has happened. So the
Right.
other day, a package was waiting for a package to be delivered. So we got the notification said the package was delivered. I go outside, I see no package. So I say, anything out there? So my husband, he go back and check. He say, yeah, they say they delivered it. We go back, check the ring camera. The mail lady pulled up, but they didn't deliver the package. So he trying to reach back out to the people to see, let them know we didn't get it. And then he was like, you might need to go up to the post office tomorrow and, tell them that the mail people scanned it, but we didn't get it. So in my mind, now one thing I set up another belief for myself is I don't lose nothing. Even if it separates from me, money,
Right.
jewelry, anything, I don't lose anything. I may separate from it, but it's gonna come back to me. So, in me sitting there, I didn't think, man, we done lost our package. We ain't gonna get whatever it was. So
Mhm.
I sat there and I thought, I said, wait a minute, God, I ain't sold that kind of seed. I ain't
That,
stole nothing from nobody. I ain't
right.
took something that didn't belong to me. So the fact that I know I hadn't done those things, that package got to come back to me. That's
Mm.
mine.
Right.
That belongs to me. So I sat on it for a minute. I didn't even mention to my husband. Most times I say, I don't lose nothing. Like I don't misplay. I ain't gonna tell by the time we was in a whole nother country and lost them glasses. And my friend thought I was crazy. Because I had to tell my glasses to find me. Glasses find me. And we happened 2 days later to go down to the pool and my glasses was hanging on the back of the lawn chair. Come on now. I ain't
All
even gonna
right.
okay, let me stay with the package. So he go to the post office. He telling them, the package didn't come. I looked on my ring and blah 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 whatever. So the lady was kind of giving me an attitude. Well, it might have been fraud. It might have been this. It might have been. He said, no, ma'am. I done ordered from these people before. So he happens to now while he's at the post office, I'm on my way home. I have this huge inkling to go by my office. Now I'm passing by my office, but I had to do a loop around to come back up. I done got over in the lane. I'm looking in my rearview mirror, looking back at my office, like I need to go by my office. I need to go by my office. But then I was like, I don't feel like it. So I let the best of me not feel like it, and I kept going. Long story short, somehow when my husband placed the order and the credit card that he used has the address to the office. The
Right.
office address populated and the package went to the office. So he happened to go back. He said, I think it went to the office because when I went back, they said that was the address. I said, well, I'll go back by there. Went by there. The package was in the lobby of the office.
Wow.
But I say that to
Wow.
say that you can get to a point in your life where if something shows up, you can tell that thing that doesn't belong to me. I didn't
Right.
sow that seed. I
Right.
ain't talked about nobody. I ain't
Right.
mistreated nobody. I ain't
That's
stole nothing from nobody. I ain't misconstrued and got nothing from nobody. I ain't, I ain't stabbed nobody in the back. I ain't did none of that. And when you know that thing don't belong to you, you have the power then to send it right on back to where it came from. You don't belong to me. Return it to sender.
right.
Yeah.
Return it to sender. Now
That's
I tell
right.
you, God, let me say this the beliefs now. That's why, and I was talking earlier, and I was talking about the concert and about me not liking big crowds. And God said, you gotta change that. Because in order for me to send 70,000 to see you, come on now, you can't have the belief that you don't like large crowds. And what you gonna do? Get out in front of the crowd and not say nothing? You can set up whatever type of life that you want with God in that personal relationship. Like I say, I don't lose nothing. If it we have been on our way out of town, I left the hatch on the back of our truck open. We get to the gas station. The tire light was on, had to put some air in. My husband realized that the hatch was open and one of our bags had fell out. We hit the close the hatch, turn around, come back to the house. As we're coming down the street, little man done parked his car, got our bag, headed over there to throw it in his little Wayne William van. I jumped out. I said, "Sir, that is I was just putting it on the side of the street. Sir, you had your whole door open. You were gonna throw my bag in your car. But I get my bag out of that Wayne Williams van right now. But
Oh Lord,
that's
not the
because
Wayne
once
Williams.
again, I don't lose nothing. It may have slipped out of my presence for a minute, but God made sure something came up to happen to turn us around to get back and get it. And anybody can cultivate that type of relationship where you can know if something show up in your life that ain't mine, that don't belong to me. Drama, that don't belong to me.
Right.
Struggle, that don't belong to me.
Right.
That don't belong to me. Send it back. That ain't mine, God. I didn't sow that seed. And because I
Right.
didn't sow it, I'm not gonna reap it. I ain't claiming it.
That's right. That's
Mm,
right.
look,
You absolutely right about that, Tamasha. You're right. And what to the point that you guys both made, um, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't even reference the devil anymore. And Tab, you and I, that's something we talk about all the time. Like
right.
he has no place in my life. Like, yeah, the Bible says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. He never said it won't form. So sometimes what we feeling is the formation of something, but it would never come into full circle.
Right.
But I do want to say this. Like for me, um, I had to get in a space where I had to get in a space where I was confident enough to say, you know what, this is not my life. This is not for me.
Mhm.
Come on.
Because sometimes our circumstances and our mindset, to go back to what you said, Tamasha, our mindset oftentimes will keep us in bondage. It don't be the
Okay.
devil, it be us. The
Mm-hmm.
way we think. We
Right.
come in agreement with that thing.
Mhm.
So a man thinketh, so is he.
That's it.
That's biblical. So if we think this way about ourselves, or if we think that way about somebody else, like you said, this the soul that we seed on somebody else's behalf, it'll come back to us. We've
Mm-hmm.
accepted it. So I honestly think that it is very important for us to like continue to clear our minds, clear our hearts, and continue to accept the things that God has for us and not
That's
what the enemy has for us.
right.
But this whole live tonight was very, it was very empowering to me. It was empowering. It was something
Yeah.
that I needed, and I
Mhm.
kind of feel like today was like a shift for me again. And I think it was kind of a shift for all of us because Tamasha, you were flowing tonight, like for real. Like this is what I've been dying to see from you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm being for real, and I know it's gonna get better. I know
Yeah.
it's gonna get better. And also to you, Tab, like you did your thing, girl.
Yeah.
You was so confident, and you talk about, you know, the struggles that you went through and not being so confident tonight. If I didn't know you personally, and if I was just a guest on this show, I wouldn't have never thought that you ever had any struggles with confidence. You were so confident
Right.
in what you were speaking. And I know you were confident because that's your confidence now. You're walking into who you are.
Right.
And I'm so grateful that I can be able to share this platform with you and see God elevate you in a beautiful way. I'm so proud of you and I love you. And I know you blushing. You don't like for me to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. And yes, you did a beautiful job tonight,
Yeah.
Tab. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. We're gonna have to do a part 2 on this because baby, Tamasha,
Yes.
listen, you're gonna have to be
Pastor,
the
prophetess.
co-host and she gonna be the guest because baby, she was telling me some stuff the other day. I was like, wait a minute,
Look.
are you need to be interviewed?
Look.
Like,
Hey.
girl, what? Girl, she
Uh,
got a story.
Yeah.
She got a
now-
story. The girl was telling me the story. And she said, sis, I'm finna get off this phone. I say, we had been on the phone for 2 hours
yeah.
already. And I was like, I need more. I need more.
Look.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
I
I tell
need more.
none of us look like what we've been through.
Right.
And when you can do that, like, I just, we don't look like what we've been through. We've been counted out. We've
Right.
been talked about. We've been with misunderstood,
Yeah.
Right.
taken for granted.
Right.
You know, tossed to the wayside.
Mm.
But
But
God.
God.
Mm.
And Tal, when you were giving your story, do you know the place that you have to be in to speak and talk about almost losing my mind and having a breakdown and having that thing in front of my kids and
Yeah.
things that a lot of what you said resonated with me and you thought I was telling your story. I was like, she telling my story. Look, the place, I thank God for that because all of us, God says speak for all of us, has the
Right.
heart that God is looking for to be able
Right.
to help bring his people out of the
Yes.
place that they are in. Because
Right.
it is people that's out there that's gonna go through some of the same things that we have overcome, but they
Right.
don't have that confidence in God that they're
That's
gonna make it.
right.
And that's where we come in. So Tab, um, please keep seeking, keep going after, because in that you're gonna find, God said you're gonna find everything that you're looking for. It's a song by Juanita Bottom that says I'll wait. And she talks about in her waiting and how everything that she's seeking, she's gonna get from God. And you too,
Right.
Janice, all of us. As long as we keep God first and we keep seeking, and we stay at his feet,
Yes.
everything that we're seeking, we're gonna get, we're gonna find. And I'm
Yes.
not talking about materialistic things. They are
That's
coming. That ain't nothing to God.
no.
That ain't when he know he can trust you to seek him and trust you with his people,
That
that your heart is pure, and that you're gonna speak life into people. You know how
Yes,
many times people are getting death spoken to them over them on the internet, but when
that's
he
right.
got people who you can speak life to people,
That's right.
that's it. I don't even want to keep talking because I listen. Well, you know how it is. You get to talk about God. The one thing I want to say this, and this is gonna be me closing what God wanted me to say. When I was talking about when things show up in life, and I know what's mine and what doesn't belong to me, God told me for people who is gonna hear this, when it comes to your health, do not take ownership. Do not take ownership of no diagnoses that you
That's
receive.
right.
My
That's
So
God.
right.
yes, go to the doctor. Because sometimes our answers are practical. Yes, go to the doctor. You may have to take medicine for a minute. You may have to change your diet. You may have to critique some things that you're doing, but God said, don't take ownership of it. And then not
That-
even just for our health, for your wealth, for your children. If you see something that doesn't line up with the word of God, God said, don't you take ownership. Don't, oh, I got diabetes. Oh, these diabetes. I got, oh, this high blood pressure. Oh,
That's
this,
right.
all that. Oh, God say, stop taking ownership of that stuff.
That's
We
right.
can deal with it and have an ailment of it, and we got to go through the process of it. But when you take ownership of it, come on now, it's like when you go to the dealership and you sign them papers and you take ownership of that car, you take on you,
That's
it belongs to you. Don't nothing belong to us. We shouldn't be taking ownership of nothing other than what God has promised. And He's promised perfect health. He's promised peace. He's promised joy. He's promised the desires of your heart. He's promised prosperity. He's promised that your children will be intact. He promised that
that's
if you
right.
say the whole house will be saved and you can go out and reach the nations and the generations. Do not take ownership
I
of
received that.
nothing that
That's
God has not told you or God has not promised you. And that's me closing.
So I guess it's on me.
go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, it has been an honor and a pleasure to be amongst you both. You know, y'all, I see both of y'all. Tamasha, like I say, I don't even know you like that, but like I'm treating you like Janice. Janice is my pastor. Janice is my prophetess. Janice is my my spiritual leader, my spiritual guidance. Like if I'm stuck in anywhere and anything, this girl is not gonna play with me. She don't give me what I want to hear. And that's what I always told God that I wanted. And I told the biggest thing I've ever spoke is that God give me people who gonna add value to me. They're not gonna
That's
tell me what I want to hear. They're gonna tell me what I need to hear and what I need to do.
right.
Because I'm trying to go higher.
That's
I
it.
remember the old people saying, elevate your mind, let's go higher. I never understood that. Sometimes I don't even think they understood that. But now, as I'm where I am now, I'm like, you know what, God, I have to elevate.
Yeah.
I'm on here with two heavy hitters, and I'm being straight up. I give it where it's supposed to be given. That's one thing about me. I love telling people you're beautiful. I love telling people when you've done a great job. I love telling people, giving them their value of what I know they need.
Yeah.
So I'm honored to have been on here with both of you. Thank you, ladies. Like I'm telling you, it was hard for me to tell a lot of stuff that I did tell.
Mm.
And because I'm not one, I tell my testimony, but I'm learning I have a story
Yeah.
and I need to start telling it because people, they're perishing. Do you know how
Right.
much blood will be on my hands if I don't tell my story? And
Come on.
I don't
Right.
want that pressure.
Come
I
on.
don't want it at all. I get enough pressure from God right now
Right.
than when I get before him and he shows me. Uh he makes me look at myself for who I should have been versus who I
Right.
was.
Mm-hmm.
So I honor y'all. I am humbled by y'all, and it gives me great grace in God to keep going and to stand up and to get up and do what I need to do in Him. I thank y'all. Janice, I thank you for allowing me to come on. Like, I really do. Like, you know, we could go for forever. Marsha,
Yes.
I'm telling you to Marsha, we done been on 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't be knowing how to get off, and I just be like,
Yeah.
like, girl, sometimes I be having to go take a shower. I be having to go somewhere. My
Yeah.
husband be mad. Look at y'all on the phone.
Yeah.
He be jealous. Like, don't be jealous. Just call Janice because she'll Chantel, you too. Now
Right.
he done got the way he called her.
Yeah, that's why I say to Marsha, listen,
So,
her husband used to be like, boo, when I left, you was on the phone. You still on the phone. I done went to work and came home. You still on the phone with Janice?
Listen.
So
yeah.
what? So me and him started talking, right? He
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
me and I told him, I said, we done been on the phone for 2 hours. I said, now you know what your wife be going through. He told us
Right.
some bye, Janice.
Yeah.
But,
Bye, Janice.
Yeah.
Bye.
yes, and I'm telling you, like, that has helped me to come out. And I told Janice today, I said, where she was saying she's feeling like, God, I really need you to show me, like, what it is, because it's not that you're stuck. You right where you're supposed to be. I feel like when you've gotten to that place of where God is purging you, He had you crying all day, you said. So if
Yeah.
that's purging you, He's delivering you. That's deliverance because you have arrived. You're not where you are supposed to be, but you have arrived, and know that. And Miss Tamasha, I can't wait to see you on these platforms because I'm just ready. I'm ready. Whatever you need me to do, you too, Janice, whatever y'all need me to do, I'm going to try not to be in the background. But I just want to serve. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I just want to help people. And if anybody out there, half of y'all got my number already, you just don't use it. Just hit me up. If you
Right.
need some prayer, hit me up. Text me. I don't care. I don't care what time it is because we all go through things.
Right.
We all fall short. And we gotta learn how to help each other instead of because it's our culture. Y'all
That's right.
talk about culture all the time. We beat each other down so much.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
do.
time to stop that. We need to start loving on each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Time to start giving out more love because
Right.
you say you're a person of God, then how can you be a person that love God and tear down your brother and your sister?
Right.
Right.
So let's be more intentional
Yeah.
and let's help each other. Yeah, it might get draining sometime, but you know what? This is what we were called to do.
That's
That's
right.
right.
So that's what I leave with y'all. Love each other, reach out, touch
Absolutely.
somebody else, and do what you got to do and what God has called you to do.
Amen. Amen.
And guys, I just want to elaborate this to the audience. Um, my direct message is open for anybody that needs me, that just want to talk, want encouragement. We're here. You have a team of people, and it's not just these ladies on this platform. We have a tremendous team of lady that's willing to step in and minister to you guys and pour into you guys.
Right.
Whoever need anything, if you feel that you have a testimony that you want to share with anybody, feel free to hit me up, DM me. I'll get you set up and have you on the live and we'll coach you through it. This is breakthrough season. God is really doing a very strategic thing, and he's healing people fast. He's purging people fast.
Right.
It's not gonna take 4 or 5 years, 10 years to get a deliverance anymore. God is doing that thing quickly.
Quick.
And whatever we can do to help you usher you into that season, into that limelight for you to be free, we're here. No judgment. Trust me. We share just a 1% of our story.
Right.
If you knew the full background and the full history of the things that we've gone through, you wouldn't feel ashamed.
Right.
Don't feel ashamed. And allow someone to love on you. You know what I mean? If you
Yes.
feel that we are that, we can be that community for you, open yourself up. Don't be afraid. Don't be
Right.
afraid to do so. And I also want to give a special shout out to my daughter Anijah. She has been in the background, like just helping me get everything together. Like she has been so much to me, guys. Like when I say so much, so much. Earlier, right before I got hopped on the live, I was getting kind of frustrated, and I was like, don't worry about it. I don't even want to. And then I was saying I don't even want to, but I was saying I didn't even want to do. I didn't want to get use something. She thought I was about to say, I don't want to go on the live. And she say, no, ma'am. I said, no, ma'am, what? She say, what you was about to say? You not going? I say, no, I wasn't about to say I wasn't going live.
Right.
I was referencing that to something else. You ain't let me finish. She was like, oh, okay. She had my little stuff ready, to set up for me. I'm like, no, I wasn't saying that I wasn't going live. I'm going
Right.
live, baby. But I just thank God for her and you know, her helping me. She's been so excited to help me with my setups and stuff. Like she's been very intentional, and I just pray that God continue to use her in a mighty way. Because Lord knows mama need her.
Right. Look,
Mama need her. That
yes,
that's a mini me right there, baby. Go
oh,
ahead and study all this, baby. Take it all in, because you're
that's
gonna be
it.
next.
That's it.
You gonna be next. She in the background talking about some clock. Yeah. But yeah, and I'm gonna get alive with her too, because she was talking the other day. Um, I had donated a vehicle to two graduates, and she was sitting on the couch, and she was kind of like, oh, mom, some things you just don't really pay attention to, like the blessings. She was basically saying, like, the blessings that you have access to, we don't take full
Recognition.
ownership over it.
Oh yeah.
We don't go and get it until someone else has it. And basically she said you need to talk about that on your live, because she was talking about me blessing these graduates with a vehicle.
Wow.
She was like, you're my mom and I have the same access, but I haven't utilized that. And she was like, it's the same way, basically, us with God,
Right.
you know. And I said, oh, that's good. We should
Right.
talk about that. She was like, yeah, mom. She was like, that's how God works in our life. We have the same access, but sometimes we kind of get in our feelings when we see other people have it, but we have that same access to God. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be another topic for me and her.
That's amazing.
Right.
She
Right.
back here talking about something. I want to talk. I got a lot to say. I know you do.
Jan, when I spoke to her,
Got
I
you,
spoke to
baby.
her the
Got
other
you.
day. Yeah, I spoke to her, and I'm real quick, but I spoke to her the other day, and I told her, "When are you gonna go live with your mom?" I said,
Yeah.
"Because it's time." I said, "I know you got something to say," and she was
Yes.
like, "I don't know." I said, "It's time," and she reminded me because I don't think I watched that live. Y'all went when you first started. Y'all went
Yeah.
live together. And I think the people want to know, like, what is she like now? Where
Yeah.
is she now? That's been what, three three or
About
three
three,
years
4 years
ago maybe.
ago. Yep.
So I think it's gonna be amazing. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I am. I'm not gonna lie. Like her and I have conversations almost every day, and sometimes I just like listen to her talk, and I know I get kind of quiet sometimes, and she just be talking, and then we'll have our exchanges. I'm like, dang man, like this is like a mini me.
She is. She is.
Like this is a mini me. If no other kid has any DNA of me, this one does.
Right.
Like
Right.
I enjoy our talks and the things that we ran on about. Like, look, Nadia said she ready. She know.
Mhm.
Look, she Nadia knows. Like, Tab, she in the background too. She knows how we operate in the household. She's done been here and done seen it all. But
Janet,
I'm excited
it's
to do that.
exciting.
Yes, it is. I'm excited. I told her I want to get her more involved. She's kind of in the background now, but trust me, she's gonna be she's gonna be in the forefront very soon.
That's right. That's right.
Very soon. But yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in to the live, the Divine Destiny Speaks. And I hope this segment has blessed you guys. I hope that it brought you guys breakthrough, peace, and soothe your soul. And I pray that God just continue to elevate you guys, whoever tuned in, God, I just ask you to just send your angels, just do a special touch, do a special thing for them, God, and just release blessings from the north, the south, the east, the west. Just continue to uplift them, God. Just continue to give them overflow and increase. And God, just allow them to see who they are in you. Don't allow them to see, try to fit into this world, because they're not of this world. They just live in this world. But God, just grow them to be gentle giants, to be giants in you, to be spiritual giants. And God, I just ask you to just continue to increase this podcast, God. Just continue to reach the people that need to be reached. God, set the captives free, because that's what we're here for. And God, allow us to continue to be obedient to your will and to your way and to your word. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right, guys. Well, that is our time. Thank you, ladies, for tuning
Thank you,
in with us. And
Thank you.
and thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And that will be the end of our live, guys. I'll see you next week. When we're gonna have something cooking, we might do a part two. I don't know. We're gonna see, because it's a lot of stuff we still need to uncover.
That's right. That's
True.
right.
You know what
True.
I mean? But until next time, guys, peace and blessings.
Peace.
Amen. All right. See y'all